Previously, in the Age of Ashes, when the outsiders returned to Acrivel, they met with the leaders of the Leopard clan, so we could discuss how to go forward. These people that have come from so far to help us in our time of need to stand against the return of the darkness have traveled throughout our lands, and they come with stories to tell.
And then I suppose the Cindercloth Fortress we discovered south of the river, and finally the mine to be excavated. I think that has all the salient points we need mentioned.
If there
sounds
were
like he
any
agrees.
other way, he turns to the leopards, I would advise it. We cannot trust them. Their ways are dangerous and volatile, near as much as the Cinderclaws themselves.
Yeah, we totally suck.
Heard of their magic and their explosions. We will still have to rely on the outsiders for the time being, as we cannot fight blind.
If I may.
And as he unwraps them,
Don't do that.
steps back, they both flash up
Oh,
into
don't.
massive full-size totems.
Ugh.
And the twin leopards jump back. All the guards reach down and pull out weapons. Galenor
Dalaran rages.
runs forward. Dalrin rages. And these two
Resme
totems.
puts her head in her hands.
And Nikita's just looking at it like completely flabbergasted. And Renavo, they did not do that before. Oh man, my hair was like super duper long. Holy crap.
Your hair was long?
It was very out of control, it turns out, before we actually did something about it via cutting.
Got it. Your new barber, Chad.
I
Chad.
knew Barber Chad.
Why is there no Chad?
There is no. Why is there no Chad?
Anyway, that was largely the focus of last week's adventures. Our return to Akravel and our meeting back with the Leopard clan once more. The Ekajai and their leaders, with all of their heads there to weigh in, as they will, their various opinions on what we've done so far.
And us
Not
trying to fight the urge to set them on fire.
Is it them, or is it just Galenor specifically?
No, I'm pretty sure at this point it's half of them.
What have the rest of them done to you? Oh no, my chat device.
Bye, chat device.
Bye.
No.
Bye.
Bye, Matt.
Everything.
Oh, it landed on the mouse and desktoped everything. That's okay. It really takes like 2 seconds to
I
fix.
thought it hit the X.
I thought it hit the X too. And
No, it just hit desktop. Apparently, I just learned there is a mouse-only shortcut for display the desktop, minimize all windows. Didn't know that existed, but my phone falling over definitely found it, so that's cool. But it puts them all back, and it actually minimizes. It just like temporarily hides them. That would be a useful shortcut if I knew how to access it without dropping my phone on a mouse at random until it happened.
There's a little thing next to the clock on your tray. You click that
Yeah,
bar.
bottom right.
That's
Pops
probably
up.
what I had. I didn't think my mouse was way over here. I'm surprised it managed to get all the way over there from getting hit by a phone. Anyway, Deadly Doll
Oh no.
coming in. Since the best ranger is missing, I just have to villain point.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Fair.
You miss Espis for one day, and I just get loaded up here. This is very in my way. I'm not
Sorry.
serious water bottle.
Fine.
You're good. Deadly Doll, I will take that. I will use it well. Possibly today, even, so that it does not get used to murder Espis when he does happen to come back.
That's going to be the villain point that kills Espus right there.
Yeah.
He's going to use that
Irony.
villain point to make
The
us
irony.
miss Esvis as much as possible.
But after we had conferred with the twin leopards and had our meeting, even Galenor was forced to accept that regardless of whether or not he, personally likes the group of us or believes in our ability, he still doesn't have much choice. They're completely blind when they go out into the jungle. And you've certainly been effective so far. Nobody can argue that one, having taken down, 5, 6 of these assorted Cinderclaw totems now.
think 5.
At first, just keeping them as little tiny pocket objects, but then eventually destroying them completely so that Renavo's not disappointed in you. So as you made your way out of the Leopard Clan meeting, back down to Nikita and Renavo, who are waiting after everyone had been turned out except for the 5 of you and the Twin Leopards. You kind of have your little Akravel fan club waiting for you. Valia, Renali, Renavo, Nikita, all standing around waiting. And I believe we had also briefly told them the outcome of everything, that there wasn't much left that can be done. There isn't much left that they can do, rather, and there isn't much left for you to do. Nikita would jump in with this. Well, I suppose with that then, everyone knows what it is we need to do. And there's not much, unfortunately, for us to do other than to help resupply you, give you arrows and food, and replace any netting or anything, any netting or tents or any supplies that we have, of course, are at your disposal. You have done so much for us already. It is the absolute least that we can do to make sure you are well stocked. But what you tell of this mine out to the east, it is worrisome. I am inclined to agree with my father. And Renavo would nod step forward. Yes, this certainly is something that must be dealt with, but alone? Just the 7 of you. That
Well, certainly, if our goal was to eradicate every Cinderclaw there, which, please don't misunderstand me, so it'd certainly be, I suppose, useful, but I think our goal should be to negate the totem in as safe a manner as possible. And with the totems destroyed, the blinding curtain does seem to recede. If we can destroy enough of the totems, and particularly that one there, then the way becomes open for the Ekujai hunters to strike at the Cinderclaw's operation. And I think, if I may say so, I imagine your hunters, particularly Gelinor, is probably going a bit stir-crazy, waiting for his opportunity to help.
it's pretty notable that Gelinor would be the only one who hadn't come down here to, he just had made his way back out. Renavo would nod. Gelinor has a hard time waiting, especially when it is his lands that he has pledged to protect.
Of course. No, I can understand his frustration. We are basically taking up his job. So I imagine his frustration with us definitely comes from something of that. That being said, perhaps you can speak to him and mention this opportunity will come soon. That might help him feel better.
Almost kind of interrupting that, a group of 3 or 4 Ekujai children come running up towards the pack of you, pointing and calling out to each other at Rur as they come up. And the Birdman has come back in Mwangi, all coming up, gathering around, very excited about Rur's return. And Renavo just kind of laughs and looks down and just shrugs. The universal, what can you do? gesture. Well, let it certainly be said that we understand what you have done for us. And beyond that, it seems that at the very least, Rur's presence has done good to impress that not all outsiders mean bad.
Good.
It was merely a competition. It was for fun, but I'm glad that the children seem to have gotten so much enjoyment out of it.
You have left quite an impression on a lot of them. It did not a day goes by I do not hear speak of the Birdman, immune to the peppers and the heat.
Well, as long as you keep providing peppers, I'll keep eating them.
Now, you speak Mongi, yes?
Yes.
They believe that you could climb into a volcano unharmed. Perhaps you entertain them for a moment with stories, and we figure out what we can do.
I'll see what I can do.
And at that, Malco one of the girls that you had danced with at the very beginning of the arrival in Ackerville comes speeding up after the group of kids, just like waving her hands, calling after him, blushing, though it's kind of hard to see in her dark face, apologizing profusely to her that the horde of children has escaped and come to accost you.
Slowly being consumed in the.
You're not really bigger than them,
yeah.
honestly, so you're like... How tall is Rare?
Oh, it's probably like 3'5".
You're probably a little bit taller than most of those. These are... They can talk. That's about the extent of the kid. Like, a single-digit ages still rushing around super excited.
Write down a number.
You're so cute. Oh my god, I didn't realize you were that small.
Yeah, halflings are tiny. They're literally half as tall as a person.
So, as you all deal with the kids, Nikita steps back in. This, while defending these lands and these jungles are something that our people have done for generations upon generations. The fight against the Cinder Claws is one that is new to us. And this mine is also very much new to us. This did not exist even a few weeks before your arrival. They must have acted with some haste to dig this out.
That is really phenomenal, because the size of that mine is
Concerning.
very large.
And Renavo just kind of slaps Nikita on the shoulder as she jumps in there. Don't interrupt. And she just...
I have some ideas about that, actually. I'm starting to wonder whether or not the direct approach may not be the right idea.
Well, we've got to scout it out a bit more. I mean, we only saw it for like a total of 5 minutes.
We need to figure out what the terrain is like and how far back we have to push to get to the river.
The river?
Yes, the river.
Well, we walked from near the river, didn't we?
It was quite a roundabout route, but
But-
why would it matter?
Because if we can figure out how far the river is from the mine, it's possible we might be able to flood it from underneath.
That wouldn't really help us to get to the totem.
And by what you told us, the mine was in a hill above the creek, no?
They dug down quite a ways, but I'm not sure if they went below the river line.
I don't know either, but I want to find out.
Perhaps Esvis can scout that and check the height. It would give us a potential avenue for attack, I suppose, if we could overtly engineer a canal.
And
I'm not sure how we're going to do that.
Well, being able to breathe water and shape the earth does help. I wonder who could do that.
Renali would step in. This could perhaps be a plan. If Esphos could scout, I worry about the other totem, assuming it is a totem causing that strange swamp just some miles east of their mine. The Cinderclaws have come after the group of us several times now. Surely they are aware that these totems are being dealt with and that they are being pushed back.
Certainly.
I worry that if we take this totem so close to their mine, they would have time to organize. This resume is a good idea. Perhaps Esves and I can head and scout the mine and prepare, while the rest of you deal with that last totem, so we are ready to strike immediately.
That's a good idea. We need to know all of the land and natural features we possibly can. Any advantage that we can get, it's their territory, but it's your territory more than anything. You know it better than anyone, so if anyone can find us an advantage we can use, it would be you.
Now, Valia jumps in. If I would, I believe this to be a fairly sound plan. We don't know what the Cinderclaws are capable of, but if they develop this entire mining operation within the space of, sounds to be less than a month, in addition to all of these totems they've set up, they have both clearly very powerful magics behind them, as well as perhaps more organization than I wanted to give them credit for. This dual approach here, this division, scouting the mine while we deal with the totem in the swamp, I think will give us the best odds of survival here. No matter what we decide to do with the totem or how we can get into the mine itself, if they're given a chance to organize and marshal proper defenses for it, no win will be easy.
Of course.
It also, we don't know how big the blindness effect is around the totems, and if we don't get rid of the other totem, and we get in the mine and block that totem, the Ekajai still may not be able to get in anyway, so probably be good to get rid of the other one.
Of course. No, it makes perfect sense. Then in that case, let me think on it for a minute. In the morning, I'll deliver a list of what I think would be appropriate. I'll drop a plan and see if we can gather intelligence along those lines.
I don't suppose you'd be able to supply me with some hide armor. Really anything. I've been training to use it, and
She's come along well, actually.
Well, we have plenty of armor for the hunters, and that we use for all sorts of various purposes to defend our lands when it comes necessary. When we must rally, we do. And we'll be more than happy to give you some of our Ekajai protections.
thank you.
Another thought occurs. Given that we know that this totem is in a swamp, and given that we are here in Akravel with all the resources here to prepare for it, perhaps we could actually construct a form of mobile cover, a wall, and with an overhang for shelter. We could mount it onto pontoons, and with Resume's magic, transport it to the totem swamp, and use it to protect ourselves while we assault the totem.
And Yutaka Renabo kind of turns on to Nikita, and Mwangi says, what does he mean by, and then pontoon?
A mobile readout. Something to give us cover that we can use.
Oh, pontoon. Small covered boat. He'll say it in Elven.
And Renabo would nod.
It will make the barrier float so we can push it through the swamp without having to drag it through the water.
I see. Sounds like a good plan.
It's part of his Gary siegecraft. There's a lot of rivers.
And, Valia, quite impressed. That's honestly brilliant thinking.
I've been around.
So you seem to have. Well, how would we construct such a thing? Do we have the materials, something to put together like that?
All we need is timber and ways to lash it together. Surely,
I can
Renabo,
shape it.
it can be shaped, and also that will be very useful. It may save us the need to go find pitch, or how do you seal canoes here? Surely you transport. I haven't seen any Ekajai transport on the water, but.
And Nikita does kind of shrug. Well, we do not have much use for many kinds of boats. Occasionally, the rivers will serve us better than the jungles do, but we do not frequently have goods or things to transport along, and people here move as easily across the land as a boat on the water.
Of course.
Even easier, as we're not limited in direction.
Well, the magic, with Resume's magic would serve fine, actually. I can go ahead and draw up the plans, and with simple planks, we should be able to construct well enough.
Well, considering Resume's magic just to shape the wood, we wouldn't need to seal it at all. It could simply just be made of a singular piece.
Exactly.
Yes,
a sheet of wood, a boat of a solid log.
Hollow, though.
Hollow, of course. We don't need it being extra heavy. But with all of this put together, you could even anchor it together with the same spell.
The magic is very fluid.
Spectacular. This
So
would be
with
easy.
With a pretty decent plan together here to build this sort of mobile cover, a bit more detailing and back and forth in the specifics of how this would occur, but it seems to be that you would be able, they would certainly be able to provide you with the wood and the materials to create a decent mobile shelter from the totem's blast as you move down the swamp.
Perfect.
And if there are any imperfections, I can mend those magically as well.
Now, at this point, it is late afternoon, and after your meeting with the twin leopards,
This is the same day that we got back.
the same day that you got to Ackerville, yeah, it's still that first day. You guys would be provided with an assortment of refills for anything that you would need in your goods, your arrows,
Bag of peppers.
a bag of peppers, normal people trail rations, and filled water skins and whatnot. to put back in your bag of holding the transport. Really, anything that you have that they would need. And Renavo would be able to find you a set of hide armor as well. That's, of course, very much in the Ekujai style. So it is, while fairly simple in structure, it is covered with a variety of dark but multicolored panels across it. Almost decorative, almost to give it a second layer of scaled, like hard-wooded protection across the outside of it. And he jokes, "It is fortunate that you two are elf, or sizing may be hard."
Yes, it is indeed. Doran, do you think we could put one of our runes that we've been saving into this?
I should be able to transfer it with some material expense. I wonder if perhaps Aquaville may have some of that at its disposal. And I'll step out of character for this. Would they be able to supply materials to facilitate transferring a rune?
Well, the bad news is they really don't have a whole lot of traditional magic at their disposal here. But the good news is that Nikita is one of the few among the Ekujai clans who does, the linguist, and she does have some magical supplies. It's not much. She can't provide you with a ton more than that, but she could give you the things that you would need to transfer lesser potency rune out of that hide armor.
Perfect.
I have some stuff in the wagon I brought with us from Breach Hill 2.
I was just considering the uses, the expenses of necessary equipment to move it. Yeah, but yes, no, certainly we should be able to go and carve that over.
Yes, I'm thinking having me as if especially without Esphus here, I might have to take a more active role in the battle than I would be used to, so I would like to be as protected as I can.
Buddy and I will do our best to make sure that is not required.
I don't know, I can be pretty tough now. Like,
I'm also really good at standing in front of you, so if there's any option, I would prefer if you were like, if I can still see you, you're probably too close.
Severin will go, "I don't know. She's been turning into a really big bird and eating all my food."
I don't think that helps.
I look at Severin, I shrug. He looks at me, he shrugs too. They don't believe. You're gonna have to prove yourself. Again.
So, that's...
Nothing like picking you up from the dead to really, really push me in the right direction.
You only had to do it like once.
Yes, that encounter with those vampiric sloths is something that I hope to forget at some point.
Oh,
but...
I was talking about the other time that I've had to pick her up from the dead. But that too.
I suppose,
We
yes.
were surprised. What did you want from me? I didn't expect giant whatever they were to come dropping down on our sleep.
Or the boggarts to come out of the break through the door either. It's usually the things that we don't expect when you wind up getting hit pretty hard. Keep the armor on. You've been doing well, and we'll work on
Turning into a pterodactyl?
Well, I was gonna say finding your dragon soul, but we can turn in. I have no idea how to turn into a pterodactyl.
I can
actually.
do it. See, I'm already cooler than you.
Well, what am I even here for then?
But I've been conjugating all my draconic verbs. I've already memorized 128 of them.
Well done. So you have the authoritative as well as subservient forms.
Master Dalrin, I'm always subservient to you.
You have to remember authoritarian rose is force. There's only 2 tenses in draconic.
But that would be disrespectful.
Yes, but you have to learn it. Otherwise, how are you to have minions? All good dragons need minions.
You're right.
How are you going to talk to Zerk and Snuggles?
I never thought about it that way.
If you talk to kobolds with a subservient form, they won't know what to make of you.
You're right.
Literally may not understand you. Well, they'd have to know if we're speaking of it.
Well, that's how they would talk to each other, I would imagine.
Oh, no, pecking order. The
Pecking
big
order.
kobolds use authoritarians, the smaller kobolds. Pecking order.
The Kobold Society is just a pyramid.
It's just a
scheme,
pyramid
really.
scheme.
That's how all Draconic works, actually. There are no peers in Draconic.
Above or below.
It's bigger
very clear
dragon,
where you
subservient.
stand.
I'm the bigger dragon, authoritative. That's how it works.
Like Japanese. Everyone's somewhere.
That's actually true.
Dragons are Japanese.
The leap.
I mean, that's not
made,
wrong.
I'm really. Yeah. Okay.
That's not incorrect.
Yeah, it's true. No, there's actually very
Not
few
all
cures.
dragons come
So-
from Japan.
So you would need to tomorrow, if you wanted to spend another day in Acreville, working
rune
to
over.
transfer a rune over, and give everyone a full day to actually rest and get proper meals and not be roughing it through a rainy jungle constantly.
Nice.
You could rest easily tonight, which is probably that day. I'm probably keeping track of what day it is.
You suck at this.
What do you have? I just rock here.
I literally wrote my last journal entry with late for rast.
Why did I let
Like,
you
literally,
have
it's
this
been like-
We've been
responsibility?
wandering through a rainforest for almost 3 in-game weeks, so even the GM has somewhat lost track of the passage of time at this point.
Like, literally,
But
our
I'm
routine has been like
I'm-
travel, sleep, travel, fight for your
Look,
lives, travel.
pretty sure it's the 21st of Farast when you wake up, is what I have anyway on my paper.
I'll
We're
take
nowhere.
It. Tick,
And
tick, tick, tick.
Relatively
You
speaking.
could, Dalren, could spend that day attempting to move the rune over to the new hide armor. So, want to give me a crafting check there? It's a 7th level rune or a 6th level rune? I think it's 6th.
That's a 21.
I can assist if you want.
Oh, I mean, sure. Yeah, that'll work.
You trained?
Can you? Okay.
Are you okay? Yeah, I'll let you assist him. You don't have the feats to do it, I don't think. But
Not to assist with.
oh, it's moving already.
And
Never
it's
mind. You're not,
moving
like,
already.
making it. I was
It's
thinking
moving
you're making one for some reason. Yeah, give me a crafting check. My mind was a
Yep,
creation.
that's a 25.
Okay, so with a 23, throughout the course of the day, and with some assistance from what Nikita has available, you would be able to move a lesser potency rune over from, I don't know, whatever armor you're pulling it off of.
Her shirt.
Oh, your shirt that you had previously onto this new hide
Rip
armor
it
to
off.
enhance it.
Smack it onto
Like
the
my
eye.
It's
my
like
track
that, but a
outfit.
day-long process.
My track outfit.
And while Dalren and Rur are working on that, Resume and Buddy, what are you guys doing in Acreville?
I'm gonna be working on the readout. I'm going to be finding
Wood shaping.
the wood.
and-
Yes.
Okay, and Renavo would be able to source a pretty good amount of wood, both some entire, almost full timber trunks to use. They do not have anything akin to planks. Basically, everything they work with the wood is much more raw and natural. The closest they would have to that are large strips of like thick, hardened bark, which is largely their equivalent from these trees, but they don't have any actually worked planks. But you wouldn't need them anyway
I don't
because
need
you have
'em.
your wood shaping thing. You can spend the day drawing upon that magic to kind of place this thing together here. And why don't you give me a crafting check as well? I know you're doing it with magic and all of that, but still the...
Oh, okay. If actual crafting is going to be needed, then we're probably going to need supervision for you. Because I don't think you can craft well.
Well, I mean, worst case scenario, she messes it up and we just try again the next day.
Yeah, so you can wood shape it back just to see how good of a thing comes out of this.
Not very good.
was-
I am not good at this. A 10.
A 10. So while she has... And that's exactly what it is. While you have this magic that will guide you, you really have no idea...
Just end up fusing the
how
trees together.
yeah
like,
how
is
to
this good?
build like the structure of a thing that you're looking for. Like you understand the concept of what Dalren wants, but
Would lore engineering
No.
help?
if you have lore engineering, yeah, absolutely. You can use
So
that
my
instead.
brother has lore engineering. So can I channel ancestral memories? Because that's something he
How
specifically
often
has.
can you do that?
I can do it for 10 minutes. And then focus.
Does it work on lores? Or I thought it only worked on non-lores.
No, I picked lores at the beginning of character creation that made sense for him because of who his character
Okay,
is.
if he has lore engineering that
does.
fits for him, then you would be able, I think, to refocus while working on this. So you
Yeah.
kind of can go in and out of it.
That's
with
what I
focus.
was
Yeah, we
thinking.
can use your lore engineering modifier instead of your crafting modifier on whatever you just
In
rolled.
which case,
That is fine. That makes sense.
okay, great.
Or rolling it, we can do that too.
Oh,
She
I
rolled
got the same thing. But that's a 19 now.
Okay. So
It's
you
a
would
very big difference.
I mean, the good news is that what you're building is not entirely complicated. It's functionally just a floating barricade.
It's a floating
that you
barricade.
could keep in front of you. So what you have is a fairly sturdy fairly large. How big do you want this to be is the question, I suppose, because you know you're pushing it through a swamp. I was going to assume it was going to be like cover for 1 square, but are you wanting larger than that?
No.
Because like any larger, you're definitely going to run the risk of not having anywhere to push it.
I mean, 2 squares is probably safe, 10 feet. That way 2 people can stand behind it, and also 2 people can push it at the same time.
Okay.
So we actually get some movement out of it. And if we build it tall enough, we'll be able to shelter 4 people behind
Yeah,
it.
you
so
end
it'll
up
be
with
okay.
around probably a 7.5 to 8 foot tall barricade of interconnected bark that her magic is drawn together, placed on a trio, 1 on each end and 1 centered, of hollowed wooden pontoons, so that this thing could drift in the swamp water fairly easily and should not really be any difficulty to press or to push forward. The thing is not massively solid, but it doesn't need to be, because the goal is to block the line of sight from the totem so it just does not shoot in the first place.
I'd imagine the whole thing ends up being like a 2x4 thick.
Do you want me
Yeah,
to
it's probably
camouflage
gonna be
it?
much more, not much more, not much
Do you
more
want
than
me
that.
to camouflage it?
Oh, no, I don't think we'll be able to successfully deceive anyone who's with a modicum of intelligence looking at us using it.
How many rurs could we
These-
fit in there? She'll start going.
Roll for math.
We could, like, put a chair right on the inside so we can sit right there while we
A little eye slot.
Eye
So you can
slot.
just sit in the
I
front
would
and
get
watch.
blasted.
Give him
by
a
the-
little driving wheel.
It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, no,
It
not
just,
connected.
No, it does
Boat.
nothing. He just pretends like he's steering.
And Buford, as you left the Knockerville here, what are you up to with your day here?
Well,
They're working on ring transfer and she's building a thing.
I was going to help her with that thing. Well, she actually has it pretty well in her hand here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be setting my armor in patches of sunshine and then laying out and slowly de-wrinkling as I've been in my armor that has been wet for so long. And my feet are just tiny little prunes now.
Oh my god.
Definitely have minor trench rot at this point.
So I'm just going to be laying in the sun. I probably have some clothes on.
Not
And I'm going
completely
to
naked.
try and de-prune.
That's
And
just
also probably just nap because
That's
I've been
just
walking around a lot.
laying out on this upper level as in the sunlight as you can get. And much of Ackerville is built to be shaded.
Yeah, so that's why I have my armor various,
Yeah, it's gonna
spots, and then I
scatter around.
move it.
Patch of sun.
I
there's
move it
that.
along every couple of minutes.
Valia would at some point come by and see your armor just you spread it across a like 20-foot area of the platform, and you just laying there, not wearing a whole lot. I'm sorry, said Bates, not to interfere, but are you all right?
Sure am. I'm better than I've been in weeks. Man, I'm starting to dry out. You know, there's some like weird smells coming out from my armor, and I'm hoping they'll go away soon.
I wonder if bleach exists yet.
Prestidigitation.
And she pauses for several moments, kind of looking around to this different piece of armor. Well, right. Your insistence on wearing full metal knight's plate armor throughout a rainforest is admirable, at the very least. That's a surprising amount of dedication, I'm sure, to keep with that.
Well, you know, it's a lot harder to kill me if I'm wearing plate armor.
Well, that's correct, of course, but it would be equally hard to kill you were you wearing something a bit lighter and more maneuverable.
That's ridiculous. I mean, have you ever tried to shoot someone with plate armor? It's real hard. I can look at you. Look at that. There's like so many areas over there that someone could just
She
slice
doesn't,
right
she
off
doesn't
of
even like
you.
have her armor on at the moment. She doesn't have anything. Right. And while, of course, I am not trying to malign the capabilities of full plate to deflect arrows from a distance, of course, is largely what it's designed to do, for seizures and whatnot. I can't say I think we've come across much of that here in the Longy Expanse.
Not yet, we haven't. We're probably due for some.
Sir Bates, I'm not entirely sure that's accurate.
Well, have you seen any yet? It's like tornado insurance. It's good
What?
to have, just in case the tornado comes by.
Well, that's only applicable if you're in an area prone to tornadoes, I would imagine. There's no sense in insuring against something that's impossible.
I mean, you don't know if it's impossible. I mean, it just hasn't happened yet.
She just kind of reaches down and pulls her little book out. It's
Storm etiquette.
think through it.
I did like the ominous thunder as soon as you said yet. Just in the background, a nice distant.
It is
rumble.
thunderstorming decently hard here, so it's not completely impossible. It knocks our power out just as it gets a forewarning. But as she flips through and stops and reads something for a moment, as always, just
Besides, it's good training, you know, it keeps them fit.
right. So Bates, well, that is an interesting view indeed that I had not considered, and I suppose I will leave you to your business.
Very good. If you, I can tell, you know, it's already working because that, like, you know, I can tell you're not trying to hold your nose like you normally are, but I'm not sure if that's because of the armor or not. So, I think it's working. And then I'll, like, try and shuffle the armor just so it's in the sun still.
Go around and poke each little individual piece a little further along. So, with the day of preparation, so you'd have another couple weeks of rations in your bag of holding. Any torches or anything you'd use, they could resupply as well, as this is restocked up on arrows. And near the end of the day, when everyone's finishing everything up, Renali would come back and find you all again as you're coming together for the evening. So, how are we going to do this? Do we need more time? Are we...
Well, I suppose we could leave the next day and head out cross country. Here, I've drawn up a list of plans that I think for Esphus to go and try to scout out. He can keep an eye on that. How do we want to design? I know Esphus is very capable at moving by himself through the forest, but should we give him someone to support him just in case? Perhaps.
I was planning on heading with him. What magic I have, though it is not much use in a fight, it is much more useful for, well, hiding and staying hiding. I believe I can at least help keep him safe. Allow
And
us to get
you're
near.
probably the only one that can keep up with him. That guy can scoot right along.
And if we need to, if we need somebody to scout, I can do that.
All right, very good. And certainly you've been adept at setting up camp, so I think we'll be okay without Renali or Esphus. So, very good.
Well, perhaps then we can leave tomorrow. Start making our way so that by the time you reach the totem in the swamps just past, maybe we will know something. Maybe we can be ready.
Yes, very good. So Dalrin is woke up with warfare lore this morning. So he'll draw up like a list of things, thinking about like, you know, how are we gonna siege this place? Look for patrols, look for command structure, look for good
30
distractions.
years in the military as
He
an
now
adolescent.
he now
That's it.
breathes the air.
I had to pick a mercenary gig back like in my 30s because I got marooned someplace.
Where their supply chains come in from, who they contact, can we hit those? Like,
There you go. The whole
Can-
kit and caboodle. He'll drop
everything.
he'll basically drop guerrilla warfare handbook. Please tick these boxes.
take these, learn all of this stuff, and come back. Why do they need all of this gold? Is a good answer. It's a good question to possibly find out. Where is it going?
It's not a bad one either.
To buy more grass.
And how will we mess them up by taking it away from them?
Yeah,
So
well,
I'm
much
actually kind of curious because no one uses money here, so
Maybe they want the poison.
Also laced.
Maybe the poison's the goal and not the gold.
imagine mining gold for
for
arsenic.
arsenic. Stupid yellow rocks.
It's just dumb enough to be something Cindercloth might actually do. Like,
Like,
we set up a massive gold mining operation to take out the tiny amounts of arsenic that are lacing it, and it's still
No, it's
not
not-
even that strong poison.
It's
Like,
not to take it out. It's to put laced gold into the economy.
Yeah.
what
they're trying-
economy?
There is no
Exactly.
economy in
Nobody uses money
Milwaukee.
here.
Making
They're
it.
making one.
They're making it. That's
Look,
what they need all the
stay
gold
with
for.
us, God.
Really, their entire plan is just to set up a Burger King somewhere near enough to Ackerfell to generate interest and get the flow of coin going.
I can see like the Cinderclaws approaching like the Demon Hunter tribe of half-orcs and trying to convince them to start an economy. Like, no, it's very simple. You use shiny rocks in exchange for whatever you want. It's like, why can't I just like trade what we want? No, shiny rocks better because it fits in your pocket, see?
We will call it
Take
claw
it.
mark.
And,
Claw
and
mark.
it's customary to lick each piece before you take it.
They're like, it's just an economic scheme.
It is.
That's exactly what
All
it
the
is.
Cinderclaws are here to do is try to instill capitalism.
Because they know that's
It's
the
more
truth.
heinous than we ever could have imagined. We just thought they were trying to summon a dragon god.
No, capitalism.
That's what they
My
needed.
God, they have to be stopped.
That's what they needed the portal for, so they could spread their economy.
That's it right there. We all know that feudalistic monarchy is the proper way to organize everything. We must put a stop to this immediately.
So, with most of your day's preparations behind you, I imagine, would be largely set the following morning. And some light rain falling as it almost always is, but pretty much entirely avoiding Ackerfell thanks to the weave of leaves up above. The four of you, well, five, I guess, because you still have Valia.
You reminded us.
The five of you would be ready to head back out into the wilderness here. And I'll go ahead and jump us over to ye olden map screen. Yonder.
No, not again.
Oh, yonder.
Put this like hereabouts. I guess I can make this a little bit bigger. Renali and Esvis are going to make their way down to the mine on their own, trying to scout out and learn
We
anything
were
that
really
could be
holding
useful.
them back if they're that fast.
Gonna make it through 6 hexes in a single day, a 60-mile journey through trackless rainforest.
Renali just uses her twine, like her really magical web stuff, and she just builds a big Esphis slingshot and just fires him across the rainforest.
Yeets him up.
His ears let him hover. He glides back down safely using the power of ears.
But if you're heading out independently,
Pierce.
Oh, I hit you good. That's it.
I just got a picture of him. Like,
The Bugs Bunny helicopter, maybe, or the...
it's gonna be okay. Shh, it's alright.
sometimes you gotta just hit you exactly right.
When he gets to where he wants, he grabs the tips and just parachutes down.
No, stop! Because I'm picturing him in
You're not imagining Esmus, you're imagining Matt doing it. Alright.
To be fair, I was too. That's why it was so funny.
I don't know which is funnier, honestly.
Yeah,
if
they're
you
both
imagine
amazing.
Esmus like with that face that's like on his token art, just completely straight faced, holding his
The joys of flight.
The joys of flight. Oh yes, where are the peanuts?
After you get your final preparations here, readying your spells, weapons, and armor to head back out into the jungle, and I imagine spending 10 minutes to shrink
Yes.
this
Read out.
thing that you have built.
Drink it.
Where are
put
you
it in a
heading?
bottle.
Well, on the way over,
The completionist in me says go this way.
we gotta go north.
Yep, we have to go that way.
And then we can come and approach it from the northern side and take the whole river down, just in case
Yes,
there's
sir.
a totem lurking.
In case they have another one just kind of tucked up to the north a little bit here. Gotta make sure absolutely nothing gets past us. So as you head upwards through this day out into the jungles, the going is, of course, a little bit easier not far from Ackerville, as the jungle is somewhat maintained for a couple mile radius around. While it's still wild and completely trackless, maintained is certainly not the right word. The Leopard Clan passes through these close reaches very frequently. So some effort has been made to make it a little more traversable. And it's something you only start to really appreciate now, having come in here several times, compared to the distant reaches of the expanse out to the east and the swamps to the south that are near impassable. Are you using your magic?
Show the way.
You're just using, you're not using the path because you're not going a straight line there.
But this was a 2-day.
This is a 2-day.
Or a 2-tile day.
You would be able to fairly easily trek out to the north exploring and ensuring that at least in the northeast direction, there is still nothing bad that close to Ackerfell. It's going to do more horrible stuff to you. And settling down for the evening, it's going to fall to Resme's skills to be able to put together a camp.
If you want assistance, I'm happy to help. I've
Give
been
me-
watching long enough. I've picked up a thing or two.
Okay, let me get my head together real quick because Esphus and I kind of had a system, and I want to make sure I'm hitting all the checklist spots. She's actually kind of talking to herself while she does it. That's a nat 20.
Okay.
So I'm thinking
That's a checklist.
the camp's doing
If you
just
verbalize
fine.
it to yourself, you don't forget anything. It makes
Yeah.
it easier to keep on track with everything that you're supposed to be doing. So after several weeks in the jungle, you have in fact gotten pretty good at this. So you would be able to set up a camp very easily that's this close by, well camouflaged and hidden from anything that, may
And I'm still setting up alarm.
seek to do bad stuff to you, and setting
A
up
couple
alarm spell
times.
to double check as well. And with the evening, as the rain peters out and starts to dry up a bit, you rest at the end of this first day all perfectly fine. The following morning, as you're ready for further adventure, you're going here.
I'm assuming the one above us is half of a
Not
tile.
a real thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not real.
real fake tiles. It's a half tile. You've moved down, and Resme in the evening as you journey through a rare dry day where nothing is coming down. Up here in the northern end, the upper jungles, everything is much firmer. You got used to the swamps and the hellish wastes of the southern ends, but up here, it's crazy that at this point, a completely wild, untamed rainforest, like this part of it, you're like, wow, this is so much easier going. This is nice.
Yeah, this is
This
awesome.
is good rainforest.
This is right here.
I'm still dry.
It's a stroll. It's great.
Give me your
This here trackless wilderness is lovely.
evening survival check.
That is going to be a session reroll.
That's a free reroll.
Oh, thank you, Rare.
Lucky halfling.
You
He
lucky
doesn't need
little.
the 8.
He's
He
like
just
a
has
lucky
to
charm.
be really lucky. Yeah.
Yeah.
You carry a halfling around just for
That
the
is
luck.
much, much better. That's
Oh,
going.
Darren's back on jungle lore, by the way.
Okay.
That is going to be a 29.
Okay. And so with a 29, you would set up camp, still dry, resting through another evening without anything terrible happening. Now we're moving a bit faster on this this exploration here now because we've
We know where everything
done
is.
this about 20 bazillion times at this point. We have, for those of you keeping track at home, this many that we have explored. This has been a pretty major focus of the adventure for quite some time. So
Well, about a third as many, because there's been every other is a double tile.
and a decent amount of it's been Renali as well, to be fair, as you've been splitting up. But still, we've been exploring through the Mwangi Expanse for a while now. So even exploration through trackless jungle eventually becomes routine if you do enough of it.
And anytime you want me to assist with putting
Yep.
the camp together, just let me know.
And a
I think I'm starting
a
to get
further
a
day
feel, so.
of travel up here around where you would hit the first of the grand series of totems heading back to Ackerville would lead you into nothing.
It's
As
a
you-
tile
It
there.
is, yeah. It would lead you into nothing. As in the other one's already revealed, though.
Yeah.
So you already there's nothing down there. And show that you really did, in an absolute masterpiece, just managed to hit through every possible totem that you could have walked down the way back to Octobell. It's not like they're a plague up here. It's just every single step you took was additional bonus totems.
Some say that bringing a halfling along is good luck for the party. Or you just run into every single totem ever that fires deadly lasers at you.
No, it's because we weren't looking for them. When we
Yeah.
wanted to find them, they were nowhere in sight. When all we wanted was to go back and have warm food and a warm bed, we hit every totem there was.
Oh, time to go home. Distraction, distraction, distraction.
But while you would not find any more of the Cinderclaw totems up here, you would find at least something a little out of the ordinary. Traveling up some 8-9 miles north of that totem you would dispatch, which I believe was the one with the Gripply down below, you would come across an ancient statue. Stood well overgrown between two fairly large trees. not in a clearing, not with anything leading up to it, and with nothing else, no temples or other structures anywhere visible nearby. The statue is very mossy, not much more than a kind of vaguely humanoid figure, standing pretty tall. The thing's about probably 16, 18 feet, almost more a colossus than a lone standing statue. It appears to have one arm out to the side, either with something small or nothing in its hand, again fairly overgrown and difficult to see, whereas the other hand is holding onto something that looks to be relatively long and narrow. But again, it's almost impossible to make out what the heck any part of this actually is, as it's just a green blob up in a huge overgrown mound.
Well, I don't want to be messing with any of these Ekajai ancient things in again. I mean, that was a piece of work.
Yeah, we got yelled at the last time.
We got like
did it.
super yelled at.
Yeah, I vote not to touch.
Let's
the
keep
thing.
walking.
Well, do I know anything about it?
Um,
I've got elven lore. I've got.
maybe an elven lore. I'll take an elven lore.
I have tons of knowledge checks.
Yeah, let's do the fallback.
That's a natural one.
Yeah, you can't.
You tell me
can't
all
really
about this.
Reroll that.
See it.
It's the next day.
Get luck here.
Okay. Okay. That's a 7 now. So
I
that's,
literally thought it was a 1 again.
So-
I know,
Just from
right?
here, it looked like you rolled a 1 twice.
it's a 19.
With a 19, as you look at it, it looks mostly humanoid in that it's an overgrown blob. But as you look at it more, it's not really that. I mean, it's humanoid. It has 4 limbs and a head, but it looks more like an oversized kobold or a lizard than it is a person standing upright. It's certainly not an elf or anything Ekujai at all. At least not of one of them.
Well, then again, I didn't think butterfly tornado was.
Yeah,
very
I didn't think so
Ekujai.
either.
So, okay.
All of them.
And you, let's go. What's your religion? It actually would be religion, so it's a good day to be a cleric.
My religion is 15.
So you looking at that with what would be a 28 actually. The figure, kobold is not entirely wrong. It looks to be shaped almost like a humanoid dragon standing upright, but it doesn't look entirely draconic, nor does it look entirely human. And with a thing, the long beam it has in its hand, and a little bit that you can see through the moss of what look like a very light, almost kind of silvery stone. This may be a statue to the thing that is the opposite of Dahak. Apsu, the origin of dragons. His only weapon is a quarterstaff, which looks to be fitting to what the thing has in its hand. He is a silver dragon god. He's basically the absolute counter to Dahak, where Dahak is the god of evil dragons, Apsu is the god of good dragons, and was the origin of all dragons before Dahak pulled some of them away to become evil and chromatic.
Well, while this might seem a bit foolish, I think in the interest of what we're facing and fighting, I would like to clean this off, just to show proper respects.
Shield up, take cover, behind a tree, hammer out.
I'll use prestidigitation. I'll hope you clean it off.
I suppose it's a good idea to pay proper respect to the gods when walking through their domains.
Well, if it's a good dragon god, maybe cleaning it up will help us be blessed in fighting its opposite?
It's possible, but simply the act of showing proper reverence towards a god in its domain, as you said, Dalrin, is
Good
Your mic
manners.
is very far away from you, by the way. I can just see that from here, that it's like straight up instead of pointed to you.
I suppose it's just good manners.
Effectively, it's the way I've lived my life up till now. It seems to have worked out for me.
So as you, with a couple castings of prestidigitation, fairly easily clearing away just some of the overgrowth across this thing, you do reveal what appears to be a wholly draconic visage, mounted upon a half-human, reptilian body. The stone the thing is made of is a very light silver, in fitting with the silver scales of Apsu himself. And as you clear some of it away, especially around the head and the mouth, you can actually see a faint glow emanating out from inside of the mouth. Though it's not really open or hollow visibly, but it is carved away pretty deeply, and it almost looks like red embers just casting a little bit of a warm flickering light out from within the statue itself.
I wonder what's in there.
Read aura.
And as you cast what would be a relatively simple cantrip, and your magic washes across the statue itself, the light back inside the thing's mouth flares a much brighter red as you hear a sound of grating stone as the head turns a little bit towards the source of the cantrip.
Oh.
This is
it's doing
interesting
something.
and terrifying.
Detect magic?
How's it going over there?
It's a
I
real
see-
head. It's a real head turner.
I see it's moving.
I reckon.
Well, the last statue that did this was actually quite reasonable. I'm sure it just wants to talk or ask cryptic questions.
And with your detect magic, your second, just a full aura around. Your read aura, by the way, would turn back an aura of conjuration and abjuration across the thing. And with your detect magic, a second spell hitting this, moss would fall off of the statue in sheets, as with some cracks and grating, the whole thing would start to shrug this off, moving in small jerking motions as this light burns out through its mouth, almost like a fire. And it would physically turn to face down towards the party and sort of scan across, I guess, the three of you, while Buford is hiding behind the tree off in the distance somewhere.
You just see a hat peeking around the corner.
Dalrin, you should talk to it in Draconic, because maybe it speaks that. Tell it we don't want to hurt it, and we're just trying to help it get clean.
Well, fair enough then.
And do mention
Subservient tone of address it is.
we were cleaning it off.
He, in a very sort of formulaic subservient structure, he'll kind of just speak out. I don't even know what to call this thing. But,
As you start like stammering over yourself here, without any actual movement from the mouth, a voice just booms forth. I shall then be Apsu, for I am the first.
What's he say that in?
In Draconic.
In Draconic, okay. Lord Apsu, you do us an honor with your presence. We sought to pay respects to what appeared to be
And
your
it steps
shrine.
forward, raising up the quarter step down towards Dalren. Some part of this seemingly not going through as you had hoped. Really. And
I get the feeling that the Ekujai will be mad if we knock this over.
well, this doesn't seem to be Ekujai by any.
The last thing
Well,
you
that's
can
what
do
we
is
thought
either.
last time.
We thought of the temple previously.
We know
I
there's some
suppose, to be
Gripply
fair.
hiding in the forest somewhere, just saying, "Oh, if they knock this over, I'm gonna tell."
Just watching, like, they go do it. Roll me
Some initiative.
some initiative. Angry stick.
Sorry.
That's all right. I remember what it was.
I swear.
Oh, nice.
Initiative's a... yeah.
Esphus wasn't here, so I don't think anyone gets a scouting, right?
Nope.
Not
No.
have a scout now. We're all kind of investigating at this point. Okay. That's a 33. Buford, what you got?
20. I am very far in the
Yeah,
back.
you're back behind tree
I'm like,
somewhere.
I knew it.
29.
29. Resume?
Also 29.
Let's go first.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'll go first. That's fine.
Dalrin.
It's kind of
27.
interchangeable.
Okay. Not as good as I'd hope, perhaps. And as it moves forward, this voice still booming out in Draconic. The betrayer guides you and shall be stopped. And it is going to
Did you see the card?
step up. Well, the card's just the generic giant statue.
Oh, I thought I was like, that's so cool looking.
That's the generic giant statue.
That would
it is really
definitely
cool
not
looking.
be
It's
off.
No,
just
you're
like
not
cool
fighting
looking.
Anubis.
Well, I didn't. It's hard to see like whether it was. It kind of looks dragon.
It is
shaped.
really cool art, but it is not what the thing looks like at the moment. That's why I
okay.
just kind of put it over here so I can see the stats
gotcha.
and didn't pick it up to show everyone. It steps forward, down, directing itself towards Dalren here, pushing through the massive overgrowth and weeds around. It brings that huge quarterstaff, slamming down towards you for a 31.
Normal hit.
Math.
This
Is
tree
it bad
trunk.
that I was expecting like a 57? Like,
I'm like, oh, he just normal hit me. Okay.
We're good. And it is going to hit you for 17 points of bludgeoning damage. And then as its last arm, or its other arm, its last arm, there's two of them. The last of the two is the other arm. Kind of snaps out. It reaches down open-fisted towards you with a, fortunately, only a 17 to grab out.
To grab.
Quite slow.
That's what, reflex or fort? Or,
Grabbing his fort.
That's fort. Okay. So a 17 is no. That's not going to get me.
Yeah, like I'm positive you have more than a 70 or 42
Yes.
at this point, Barbarian, please. All right, resume. If you guys can hear the rain, I'm sorry. It's
It's not that loud.
pretty hefty rain. There's nothing I can
Look,
really do. I don't have that power.
It's a rainforest. What do you want from us?
See no reason why we should stay around any longer here.
Turn back to stone, please. Turn back to stone, please. And temporis. And she'll try to slow it down.
All right, it's gonna make a fort save.
Plus 5,000. It's
Save.
stone.
It's a giant statue. That's super cocked. It is going to get a 23.
That's gonna fail.
Master.
It's slow.
It is slowed.
Slow statue.
And then I am going to shield.
All right, rare.
Well, recall knowledge.
Okay, this would be Arcana or Crafting.
Both are 11.
You can use Crafting to recall knowledge on constructs now. That's kind of cool.
I'll go with crafting, I guess.
It clearly appears to. It doesn't look like it's a true golem so much as it is a statue that has been animated by some kind of magic. Your aura reading gives you that impression. So it's not going. It's not a full-fledged stone golem or anything, so much as it's just a big mad rock. But beyond that, you don't really know a whole lot about it or what exactly is animating or driving it, or what could really help you.
I say we should probably just leave. This is just a big stone statue with magic inside of it.
Sounds like an excellent idea.
Yeah, cool. Okay, let's run.
Buddy, we're leaving. We're just gonna leave.
All right, so you get some distance. Just
Yeah, so
Out,
75 just away.
it's gonna be a lot less than that because
Oh, yeah,
if
the
you're just
rough
trying to
terrain.
run, it's basically all difficult terrain to you.
Yeah.
Dalren.
Ah. Oh.
oh, is right. Oh, is right. Oh, is right. I say.
Push.
Shover.
Yep. That's a 35.
That critically succeeds.
So you shove it 10 feet away.
Follow.
Shove.
Shove.
Go. Go.
29, 24. I think I still it's
Succeeds.
enough.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it's not a critical succeed, honestly.
A 24.
Yeah.
All right, as you shove her some distance away here.
And I've got one more action.
One left.
To be fair, I'm an expert in fortitude.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Just kind of plant my feet, run, and Dragon Rage. Because I need the hit points. Just.
All right, buddy.
Okay, I am going to move. I'm gonna move onto the backside, in between Dalrun and Resme.
Like double move over here.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I'll raise my shield.
Alrighty. As this thing comes towards you, Rude managed to get about yay far, I'd say.
At least it's slow.
This thing is going to continue thundering forward. Outstretched hand is still reaching down towards Dalren once more. With a... my math is very slow. 34.
34
athletics.
normal grabs me. Fortitude, right?
Fortitude, yeah.
Okay.
So it would come out and with its free hand reach out and grab hold of Dalren. Resme.
Run.
Resme will cast haste on Dalren and then run.
Okay.
Alright, so you get back out to this edge here about... Look at this. And that will bring us to rear.
I'm going to attempt to cast command on the statue that looks like it's 30 feet.
Sure. As you manifest this and cast your spell, it falls onto nothing. It's just animated rock. It has no consciousness to command.
Just get away from it. We're just leaving.
Man, he's just like
And I'm just gonna move another move action away.
okay. And Dalren.
I'm gonna try to break his grab. I can use athletics for that, right?
Yes, you can use athletics, acrobatics, or an unarmed strike.
I will use
I
my
can just look it up and
athletics.
the card.
And I'm gonna give you a session reroll.
Please let go, giant statue.
I do not wish to be here.
Oh my goodness.
That's a critical failure.
I'm a
So the
natural
critical
one.
failure, you not only fail to get away, you can make no more attempts to get away this turn. So you have 2 actions left, but they
Three.
can't be escaped.
The thing is huge, not large.
It is huge, not
I
large.
cannot knock it over.
It big.
It big. All right then.
It's like a massive colossus. Like its hand would be completely around you. Like you're probably held up a bit off the ground as it picks you up here.
Well,
You are hasted.
yes, I am, but I can't use that to. I can't move because I'm grabbed, and I can't make further attempts because I rolled a 1. So I guess I can just whack it. Let's just whack it and see what happens.
And the escape does have the attack trait, so you are -5.
That's.
on your swings.
I literally have nothing. I can try to intimidate the boulder, but I don't
Stop
think that'll work. Hey, you! Stop it! All right, so let's whack it with my geese arm. That's a 21.
21. I mean, you'll strike it easily here. It's holding on to you, but your blade does exactly that. It just reverberates, banging off of the solid stone of this massive colossus.
Well, I'm hasted, so I got a lot of fishing for 20s that I could do.
2 more, I believe.
Oh wow, that's an 18, so that goes to an 8, so that's a 24 that time.
Bong.
Give me that 20. I do not get a 20.
Thorin's just whacking it with his
Whack,
geese
whack,
arm.
whack,
and
whack, whack, whack.
You see blasts of lightning and clanking sounds, but nothing looks like it's happening, buddy.
I am going...
I've got him right where I want him.
Yeah. Oh man, I wish I had my whip. Because it is with Titan Wrestler, it's 2 sizes.
You can't.
Like,
It's Titan Wrestler. It's
you
huge.
can knock him
You can
down.
Titan Wrestler the 20-foot tall colossus. Yes.
Nice.
Okay.
Full plate, like shoulder tackle its ankle.
I'm going to drop my hammer, pull out my whip, try and trip it.
So good.
Whip it real good.
So against his reflex DC.
Oh, nice. That's actually probably going to be really good. Okay, so that's 16 plus 18. So a lot.
34?
34.
34 is going to critically succeed. It's not. It is slow. Not only is it slowed, it's a just big stompy statue. You inexplicably 20-foot tall stone colossus
Don't care.
flash out with your whip and pull it crashing to the
It
ground.
lunges forward to grab Dalren, and I catch the leg that's lunging forward, and it just does the splits.
and it
it's
takes 4
really
damage
tough.
because you critically succeeded, so it also takes
That's
damage
the 4
from falling
groin
down.
damage
When
right
you're
there. That's
slowed and you just kind of move slower, do you fall slower?
It does like fall down. It's super. Yeah, it's magically trains me to move slower. It probably falls slower. It doesn't fall with any less impact. It just looks visibly slower.
tough. And then I will raise my shield.
Okay.
Conservation of momentum means it would get heavier.
So the thing laying on the ground here still has hold of Dalren. And it is going to maintain that grip, or try to anyway, with a 32.
32 is normal succeed.
So it continues holding on to Dalren and turns its head on the ground as it slowly shifts. And out from this fire in the back of its throat, a blast of molten rock kind of coughs out, shooting almost just like a cannon directly towards you. For
Me or him?
you.
Me. Oh, okay.
It's got me where it wants me to.
Okay, yeah.
For a 12.
Oh. Well, that critically fails.
Yeah, it's like it's on the ground moving in slow motion. It just kind of shoots like this little cannon blast of flaming rock over past you.
That's exactly the reaction that I have. I'm like, was that at me?
Just the frustration of being knocked over, it just yells into the distance.
Here's also this giant statue.
Hey,
You guys
there
never
it
tell me that. Tell me when I'll give you tokens.
I forgot
we didn't
about it because I
realize
was
it had
focused on
one.
getting away.
Look at how big that
He's a large
Oh wait, I'm
leg.
sorry. There you go.
Good. Small victories.
All right, Resme.
Resme will feel out with her magic and cast out Dispartum, and will try a level 4 Dispel Magic to see
I
if
believe there's a 30-foot range.
I can use Reach.
Okay, you can reach spell it. That's fine.
And we'll try to dispel whatever magic is on this thing. She doesn't know if she can, but she's gonna sure as hell try.
Okay, so as you do cast that across this thing, dispel doesn't fall on any actual magic. It doesn't catch. Like there's nothing for it to remove. Like whatever is driving the stone is
Oh,
it's a
interesting.
magical animation of some kind, but not a simple spell. It seems. Rare. Not even a simple spell. Dispel magic can dispel stuff way bigger than just regular magic, but it just doesn't catch.
Well, I have a dumb idea. So I'm going to start running back, seeing as we cannot simply just run away from this
So
thing.
one move action will
Not
get you back
yet,
to
we can't.
where you were.
A second move action
We're still
will
working
get
on
me
that, yeah.
up to the backside of this tree, right here.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. And then I'll cast Healer's Blessing on Dalren, my focus spell. Does nothing for now.
Is preparing for the stuff that may happen.
Are we changing our minds? Are we actually going to
Nope.
fight this thing?
We're getting there. We're getting
Alright,
to the
it's
running away.
still
I just
gotcha.
noticed that you're within grabbing range now, Rur, and it concerns me.
I have an idea.
I liked the old idea.
It's not working.
Yes.
Hang on. Finger. Try to get some leverage. That's a 30.
A 30 will succeed, not by much, but as it's slowed down, you will on the ground here manage to be able to force yourself out from its massive grasp.
Wriggle out. Just kind of claw my way out. Okay. Now then. Oh. Are you serious?
No, I'm serious.
I feel like Tyrannus right now. I'm going to run around to the other side of it.
Jog, a short jog to the
Alright,
other
what
I'm
side.
very nimble.
Well, the ground gets dark, it's difficult terrain, so it'd be another
Oh.
good bit to move through there. So it'd be 5 with
Oh,
the
I'm
tree.
hasted. I'm hasted.
Okay, so you have to run around this
Well, let's
tree
see.
and then around this thing. I'd say 2 move actions hasted, like 1 and then your hasted action for 1 left.
Can I pop around just to here?
Oh, that would be much easier.
Yeah, let's do that. All right. Well, he's on the ground, so let's just try to whack him.
Clang.
Yeah, I don't have high hopes.
It
here.
escapes. You still got the -5.
Boing.
Oy vey.
Buddy.
Where will you get back to a safe distance?
I'll look at the situation, and I'm gonna put away my whip and take out my hammer, and then I'll shield up again.
Damn it, giant rock. So the giant rock is going to pull itself back up, kind of in slow motion, as it rises up to a knee and turns. And seeing the group of you around it here, it's turning so slowly it almost can't pivot all the way around to Dalren. So his gaze is going to fall on Rur and just whap out with this huge quarterstaff down towards you for a 23.
It hits regular.
I'd be very concerned if a 23 crit you. I would have several
I
questions.
would be very concerned too.
That's going to smack you for 19 bludgeoning damage as well. Resume.
God, it's not normal magic. That's really annoying.
But it is localized here.
I
Rur,
just wanted to be known I'm still on the running away train.
Rur, run as fast as you can, and now I'm gonna cast haste on you.
Hey,
That'll
root
help
spell.
me. That'll help me do what I'm gonna do.
How many haste do you have?
You
came so prepared with speed.
Yeah, man.
But sorcerer. She has all the haste until she runs out of spell slots.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
fair.
baby.
Right, so I forgot you're sorcerer.
I'm the prep caster.
You get one action left.
No, I don't, because I used reach.
We chased. Rare.
Buddy, knock it down again.
Buddy. Knock it down again.
I'm gonna take the things out of its mouth and see if that does anything.
Why?
And I'll just hold.
I'll talk to buddy.
Yeah.
All right. Dalren?
I see I just have to lead by example. That's all there is to it. That's fine. That's fine. We can do this. I'm just going to run. I'm going to leave. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
Still hasted too, so
Yeah,
you're
you're
just
still
like,
hasted.
you're
Just
gone.
move.
Yeah.
You're gone.
You've just gone. You got 4 actions with which to run very fast.
That's fine by me.
Buddy? Dalren takes off with a supernatural quickness. We're still standing very excited.
I'm looking at my hammer in my hands and my whip on my hip, and I'm like, I'm just gonna turn around and start running.
Okay. So you could
I
also
can only make
you
it
could
60 feet.
yeah, you could clank a little past them as well, leaving kind of just Rur there.
Well, seeing as we're not going with this plan and I have haste, I'm just gonna take off as well.
Take his little bullet legs and run out of here with your supernatural fast.
I knew haste would come in handy eventually.
The power of running fast. As the group of you all turning and now getting some good distance on this thing, the statue slowed back behind you for now. It doesn't really seem like it's going to be able to keep up with a half-hasted party, and it's got some difficulty fitting through the various trees and everything, as it is a freaking gigantic colossus. Leaving that behind, after a solid minute or so of running off into the distance till you can no longer hear smashing and giant statue behind you. If you finally slow down, feeling you've come to a relatively safe-ish distance.
Okay, buddy, I admit it. We're never touching anything that's made of stone ever again that has a face. You were right.
It doesn't have to
I
be
was
made
wrong.
of stone or have a face. We are not touching anything in this forest
Yep.
that looks
Nope.
wonky or has
Nope.
any importance or looks like it could
Nope.
move or hit.
She
or
takes a
anything.
little white handkerchief out and just
This
You
is
win.
what we get
You win.
for trying to do nice things for inanimate objects.
I'll tell you, goodness gracious, of all the ungratefulness, you cleaned me off, so you must be evil. I'm going to smash you. There's probably some Ekujai legend where it's like, cleaning rocks is bad.
okay.
Ancient Ekujai legends. cleaning rocks is bad.
That's
The
the whole
moss
legend.
that grows.
That's the whole legend.
No, the moss that grows on that stone is sacred. Do not let it roll.
That must be exactly it. Yeah.
Instead of moss pointing towards civilization is the old, like when you're lost
Is it?
thing. I think.
It grows on the side of the tree. I think that gets the least sunlight.
Gets the least sunlight.
Yeah, it's some dumb rule, but for
it
them,
gathers
it's all
none.
moss grows towards danger.
Yeah, okay.
So if it's completely covered in moss, just
It's
don't
just
touch it ever.
100%
It's just
danger.
super
I can just
dead.
like envision just Galinor's head just poking out from behind a tree, then shaking in disapproval, and then
Sliding back.
With the Grippleys.
Yes, yes.
Except his body is the body of a snake.
The Gripply,
Just a Galanor head.
you're just back there just taking notes, scribbling furiously.
Cleaned statue. How dare they?
Well,
More reasons to hate the heroes of Breach Hill.
All right,
Well,
we're
at
done.
least-
I'm done with this place.
yeah, well, at least it's not going to be able to sneak up on us. Although I don't know, like, I don't know if we should cover our tracks. I don't know if it
no,
can
let's
track
just keep
people.
going.
At least it can never sneak up on us. It's right behind me, isn't it?
The thing does not seem to be subtle, nor does it seem to be terribly fast, though it's kind of difficult to gauge given the the actual magical slowness covering it. And it's fortunate it's not an actual golem where that would just literally do nothing. So that works out in your favor, so that's cool.
And we can just sit down for a second at some point and heal the couple
No,
hits
I
we took.
feel like we should keep
Let's
moving
let's
for
keep
a little
going.
while. And
We can do
then-
that later on tonight
I'm
once I've made
perfectly
camp.
A
fine.
couple people got a smack from a very large column.
I've had worse.
It was
but,
just teaching a lesson. Let's keep going.
Continuing out through the rest of the
Cleaning's
afternoon,
bad.
you would finally, I imagine, feel confident enough to settle down.
I'm never confident
And
in
you
this
would have
forest.
found that. You would have found that up here with
Okay.
your second hex.
A solid 10-mile
Yeah,
gap.
many miles between you.
And we can still hear it in the distance. Stomping.
Well, we can lead it. We
trees
can lead
breaking
it
and
to the
stuff.
mine.
Can we imagine we kite it to the mine?
Yeah.
Absolutely could.
Over here.
Over
Good
here,
luck, idiots!
over here, Stony.
Unfortunately, it would literally take us 3 days to kite the
Yeah.
stupid thing. but
Not if I shrink it.
I don't think it's going to sit still long enough for you to shrink it.
It could.
So you make it
Invisibility lasts
through
10 minutes.
to this next section here, having not come across anything else of any particular interest.
That wants to
And
kill us.
with only one real notable, weird, exciting moment in your adventures today, give me that survival check.
Resme is being so paranoid tonight.
Oh, it's camo time.
It's camo time.
It's camo o'clock.
That is going to be a session reroll.
Ding.
Ding.
Would you like some assistance? Or
Yeah, please.
Hail.
Her hands are trembling.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
shaking.
like, I'm
She's
not doing
shaking.
so good tonight. It's better.
Well, take your better and put a minus, 2 for crit fail?
You clearly felt you reduced her score by 2, yeah?
Yeah.
Or
That's a hard
something.
one.
So that turns it to
You're-
I'm helping.
You're never helping me again.
Where's helping? What'd you...
17.
So you got 17, that's after his
Yeah.
thing? Okay.
I'm
so,
good at what I do.
Yeah, you were a little rattled, and Rur does his best to help you.
I just end up tripping over him a lot.
Yeah, he's very small and relatively in the way.
There are halfling feats specifically for this kind of stuff where it says you're helpful and you know how to stay out of the way.
You don't
You
have
don't
that.
have that.
You're
I
just
don't.
lucky sometimes.
Yep.
So it's like
We're just writing this off as worst day ever.
You manage to get a camp together and you get all your things arranged as you can. And you're netting around, but as everyone kind of awakens in the morning, it's going to be fairly apparent that it was not the greatest camp that Resme has ever built, and that the netting perhaps was not sealed off as well as it possibly has been some other times. I'm going to need everyone to make me a fortitude save.
Oh, lucky halfling.
Yeah,
Can I rub this die on you real quick?
you certainly can.
Thank
This
you.
is your fault, so can I use your power?
Yes. 26.
30.
27.
31.
How did you lose to the halfling?
I rolled a 15, so I mean, it
I
could
rolled
be
an
better.
18, so.
So, you wake up bitten and itchy and 3 days back into your journey into the jungle wilderness, remembering how good it was to be in Ockerville for one day. before we headed right back out into the expanse.
Little resort town.
And I assume we're going to be going, just continuing on the southeast here.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I succeeded, it's a critical success because I have Juggernaut now.
Okay. Oh, okay. Fair enough. You did critically succeed anyway. You had a 30. What did you have?
I had a 26.
Okay, so yeah, your success is a critical success.
Okay.
So another day's journey would discover a strange
giant
supernatural compass built into the land.
Holy!
You wonder
Signs.
about its purpose.
Signs
Who-
of ancient explorers.
Yeah.
We'd better miss this
The
style. I ain't walking through this.
entire 10-mile radius of the hex is almost like a crop circle cleared out into the jungle. A massive carving that at first you wonder what it may lead to, finding one arm of this star
Had
that you
you
follow
heard
down
the
into its
news?
center.
Now,
To-
I'm not saying it's aliens.
But it's
Totally aliens.
But other than a gigantic supernatural compass that is definitely actually there in the world and not just something on the map for the GM's reference, you fortunately do not find any cinder claws, any giant murder statues, or any other stupid things to come across here.
I do have to ask, what's the point of having a compass on a map that has art on it that faces in a specific direction? Would you not know that north, south, east, and west are already like preset things?
To tell you what direction north is. I mean, you can assume north is up.
I have no
Because
direction.
it
I don't
literally
need
is
that.
on, I'm pretty sure, every map Paizo's ever produced. But you gotta have the compass, though.
Mm-hmm.
So then you know it's north.
Why not put it
I
in the
always know it's
northwest
north.
corner where people probably will never go?
It is kind of in a very high traffic area of the hex map here. Literally adjacent to the Cinder Claw mine and 2 hexes from 2 different totems. They put this compass right, like, it's like when I say I should put my face cam in the center of the screen as a joke when I'm streaming things. Like, that's like the compass might as well just be right smack in the middle of this. It could probably start to be a little further away. I guess it's just because it is like a barren nothing square. It's just trees.
They
There's no
doubt our
rivers. There's no creeks. There's nothing. It's just green. Because most of the hexes, like even this one right here, has still got some little
Trees.
variants and clearings and whatnot. And this is just like this and trees.
Tree.
So there becomes a compass.
Okay.
So I'm assuming not allowing her to help you any further.
No.
You're gonna redeem yourself for last night.
Yes. It's okay.
Here's
I'm
the
not
Bible.
feeling like a nervous wreck because I'm afraid a
It's-
giant monkey statue or whatever the heck is going to bother us tonight is coming.
No.
Can I have that halfling look?
Yeah,
He used
you,
that fortune save.
You certainly could tomorrow.
No, it's the next day.
No,
that
he
was
used it
this
on his
morning.
fortitude save when he woke up.
That's right. We're gonna
Would you-
put this dice
Are
in
you
jail.
sure you don't want some assistance with this?
Yes.
It looks a little bit of a daunting
There we
task.
go. Thank you. 27.
So 27, making a little more certain this time too. I've rolled a 7, just so you know. I've jackpotted the random encounters. I've rolled 777 for the last 3 days of random encounters, which is great because it's only
Nothing.
Yeah, no, they're nothings. It's just interesting that the
The
dice
hawk
seem-
spawns in our camp.
the jackpot.
I rolled a 23. I don't know how that
I
happened.
think the
but,
jackpot.
well, you
The
guys-
actual Opsu comes
Yeah.
down, is like, hey, I handle all this. Don't worry about it. And you guys can just go home.
Yeah, we played a game like that.
You Okay, Thunder.
Yeah,
Stop
we
being
know.
ominous. I already told them there's not a random encounter.
Opsu's upset you used his name in vain.
You made him obsolete.
He calls Dayhawk. No, he calls Dayhawk. And the following morning, with your expeditious adventure from Ruhr here, you expect to reach the heavily swampy area where the potential totem had been sighted late this evening if you wanted to arrive when darkness was coming, or you could go 1 hex and set yourselves up to get to it the next day.
That seems like a
You're
weird.
You're also
Alternatively-
going through pretty unexplored territory.
Yeah. Alternatively, we could go through 2 hex and be ready to get there the next day.
If you want to stay within a couple miles of, you're not exactly sure where specifically the totem is, yeah, you could do that. If you want to sleep in the hex that has an uncleared totem, I
No.
suppose that is also an
go
option.
Here, and then.
Oh,
be
you mean
ready.
like around the outside of it?
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And we
okay,
get to
okay.
clear more map.
Completionist.
So you would travel down to the southeast, across these massive splitting tributaries as these creeks seem to just continue meandering off into the distance and cross back into the other side of this to another separate small tributary that feeds out almost straight east to west. Now, as you're passing through here, you can already tell you're skirting the edge of solid land. Where you're traveling, where you're journeying is still easy going. The ground is firm. The trees are tall and well set. It's not the swampy mess that is the southern side of the river. But you're not far from that. And from what you saw of your journey up along this river when you came by before, its banks are pretty standard. It's not really a river so much as just a feeder creek. And it hasn't really warped the land around it into a morass so much as the huge southern river has. But right below you, right nearby, you can see, just in the couple hundred yards that are visible, a lot of the ground starting to give way to pools and marshes.
Very similar to down over here.
A much more abrupt change in the environment, though, to be certain.
Could it be the effects of the totem or just natural landscape, I wondered?
Could be either, really. It's going to be difficult to tell till we're inside it.
We have seen swamps already. It's entirely possible it's natural with just a totem plop there because it's hard to get to it.
Or whatever magic they're using is just enhancing the natural
It's a
land that's
swamp
already
totem.
there.
It makes. Well, regardless, you get to travel through another day without anything terrible happening to you.
I swear if it's defended by an ogre.
And you get to rest for an evening with Resme's spectacular camp making skills once again on display.
Okay, it's going to be a 23.
And so with a 23, as you put everything together once more again, you would find no real particular difficulties setting up camp, and as you all rest for the evening, you would get another nice night of not being consumed by,
Everything.
insects in general. Insects are the bad times. Nobody wants to just get devoured by insects constantly at night. I'm still mentally trying, because I'm hopping back and forth between maps here, to drill it
Save.
into my head
Save.
that I need to save this map every time I do absolutely anything.
Click back. Oh, we're back in Ackerville.
Dang it! What hexes did we explore?
Yeah.
All
Can
of
you guys remind me, please? I'm just not covering the whole map at that point. It's like,
You know what? Heck with it.
yeah, you guys can have whatever you want. All right, so the next morning, after 5 or 6 days of journeying through the jungle, you're largely ready, as far as you can tell from Mernali's direction, to follow this small creek down to the southwest, back into this deeper swamp and come across something.
Okay.
Possibly a totem. Probably a totem, based on, what we've learned about everything so far.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I guess, Buddy, do you want to take point?
Sure will. I got my shield up and everything.
All right. Let's go then.
Okay. Keep the barricade handy, and we'll deploy it once we realize where it is.
You have this
When we hear the
barricade, largely when you hear the laser noise.
Hit Buddy's shield.
Everybody knows the laser noise. Buddy up front trying to make sure that should you just stumble across this totem, he would be the one at the front. He would be the one that would be taking the brunt of this assault. But as you journey over the course of literally the first hour of your morning's trek, what was fairly firm, relatively easygoing ground to the rainforest, again, just falls apart. Patches of standing, stagnant pools are kind of scattered around the sodden earth to either side of this creek. And the creek itself does not seem to be, nearly large enough to support any of this, really. It's a very small, thin creek bed. You couldn't even really, float a kayak in this. Your pontoons would barely even function here. There seems to be more standing water out to the sides of it than there is in the creek itself. So journeying becomes slow, difficult, and at least a fair bit moist as you pick your way through here.
Now, I actually have a question for you guys. Now, this shield that I got earlier back in Ackerville, do you think this would work against Totem?
Oh, yeah, I don't see why not.
They are magical.
It should.
The principle holds. It should,
Alright,
it should
well,
transfer.
I'll switch out shields and get my magic shield out.
I'm gonna let Severin float a little bit above us, not trying to get away too much, just trying to give us some perspective because the swamp can be difficult, and if there are things like immediately in front of
And
us,
everything
I
is
would like
very,
to.
the land is very flat now.
Yeah.
Almost even seeming to sink just very gently downward as you continue to make your way further. As you travel throughout the morning, again, even with Rur's magic, they're going phenomenally slow. You don't hear any laser sounds. You don't see any signs of a totem or any cinder claws or much of anything other than wildlife that appears to have set themselves up around the swamp. And as you do look around at all the assorted frogs and things that have moved into here, the environment around this totem almost doesn't seem to fit entirely. In fact, the jungle is a little bit quieter here just because it seems like there are less animals total that are even making their way around this area. And early in the afternoon, you would see stone pillars. Certainly not a totem that you're looking for, but what look like the bases of the towers of a castle up in Isker, 20 feet across, several of them, kind of spaced out, almost looking like overgrown trees themselves, jutting out like teeth from the swamp.
Wow.
So I say this is stone, and it's kind of importance, and it looks funky. I don't know if we should bother it.
Let's
Well,
not
I
bother
definitely don't
it.
think we should clean it.
Yeah,
Nope.
don't clean it.
No
Don't touch
cleaning
it.
any of the stone. Anyone. I'm gonna do some looking, see if I can see any
Do a-
statues.
Trying to kind of peer in here. These towers look like they are largely collapsed, but appear to be carved up around what's left of the base walls, almost in the shape of a coiling snake, carved with rough-hewn scales grown over now with vines and just errant grasses writhing up from the swamp below. It's all set upon a fairly large, massive stone foundation that just barely juts out of the swamp, less than a foot above the level of some of the stagnant water.
You'd have to be daft to build a castle in the swamp.
Well, unless the swamp isn't natural and the castle was here first and the swamp grew around it.
Also, it's kind of odd to have a stone structure around here, as most of the people around here don't particularly like stone that much.
Maybe they used to. Maybe this is another one of those ruins.
The temple that we came across was
True.
built of stone, so
So maybe this may be like one of those ancient things.
we'd
Yeah.
best not disturb it. But
Try not to
Yeah, this is.
push.
I wonder if the totem is in here. Does it seem to match up?
I mean, I don't hear anything. Detect magic?
You are well more than 30 feet away from this at the moment, so your detect magic certainly wouldn't reach.
Would recall knowledge let me know
Even with
possibly what
reach?
kind of structures these used to be?
You'd have to, if you got closer to it, you're just kind of seeing, I imagine because of, your
Paranoia?
caution.
Yeah.
Paranoia is a good word. I was going to go with caution, but, you said it, not me.
It's not
you,
paranoia if everything
you-
is out to get
That's
us.
fair. You would have stopped a fair distance back, like largely when you first spotted this, so it'd still be some distance away.
Yeah, let's try to get so it's about 60 feet away so I can use reach with detect magic and then take a look at it.
Yeah, fair enough. It's also possible that it conceals the totem. Unfortunately, we have to go search everything here, try to find this place. So let's see if it's in here.
As you move up forward and you start detecting magic from 60 feet away, the very edge of the stone stairs do not resonate with any kind of magic, no. What are the rest of you doing?
Trying to identify when
You're
or how this was built.
Recalling knowledge, you've got your shield raised.
I'm going to try to keep an eye out for this totem to shout a warning as soon as I lay my eyes on it.
This might be a good place to do some scouting. Actually, I know we've talked about some invisibility kind of stuff, so I don't know if it'd be a terrible idea.
That's not a bad idea.
Sure.
In fact, if we wanted to cover the area quite quickly, we could be safe, cast invisibility on Severin, and have him do a circle and come back and tell us what he sees.
Can I cast invisibility on my familiar because it's a part of myself?
I mean, it's not a part of yourself. It's the point where you like can't target it with magic and stuff. I would
Well,
definitely say that you could.
Invisibility only lets me target me. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah? Oh.
Oh, invisibility
Invisibility's
doesn't work.
not target
It's
anymore?
not target anymore?
I
Then no, you would not be able
don't
to.
think so. I think
Next page. One creature.
Oh no, I can
Yeah, I
just
was
do it
gonna
on
say
my
that's a weird change
Sorry.
I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
No, I'll cast invisibility on Severin, and I'll let Severin scout out some. Now that he can talk to me, should be fairly easy.
So as your bird flies up invisibly over the ruins here, just sailing above, you would get a pretty clear view of something. This looks, whatever this castle, fortress, temple that once stood here was. There are 3 of these large turrets or towers once that have all collapsed largely to ruin, now jutting up only about at the most 5-6 feet above the floor. And there is a massive creature. It looks like a gigantic black snake that could be 100 feet long, easily 8 to 10 feet around, coiled up in the central one. It is definitely watching out through the cracks towards the party. It's not coiled up like to strike. It's not on edge or anything. It's just coiled up because it has to fit in the tower. But it clearly has seen the group of you.
I vote for not fighting the big black snake thing.
Well, can we tell if there are any totems around, or
It's never gonna get shot at or anything, so.
No, it doesn't seem like there is.
Well, if it is watching us, we could try
No,
talking out to it,
No.
maybe, because it already knows we're here.
it just wants to sleep. It wants to be at peace in the sun, in the swamp. It likes it here. It's cool. It's nice, and it's just trying to take a nap wrapped around that pole.
It
Why
could
do we
be
want to
its
go
house.
bother it?
it could be its house. It's just sitting here. It's a pretty good house for a snake.
See, she's right.
It's true. I mean, it could be an ancient snake of
Something
something important that
Yeah.
if we killed it,
would be
we
bad.
would be in trouble forever.
Big trouble.
Based on the description of a giant black snake,
You want to
I roll a knowledge
nature?
nature to see if I know anything about the big giant black snakes.
We know Gallon was
Actually-
taking notes.
I'm sorry. I'm just. Did you hear what
I am aware of the euphemism. Thank you.
Does Severin have knowledge nature? He does, right? Because
Yes.
he shares some of your skills.
Yeah.
What is his knowledge nature?
His knowledge nature is at +7.
Severin actually would be able to tell, being somewhat enlightened from his familiar magic, we can talk and whatnot, that though the thing appears to be a snake of some kind, the ridge running down from the back of its head, a good 10-15 feet down the line of its spine, as well as kind of tucked against one corner, you could see what almost looks like a tiny, comedically undersized little wing about halfway down its body. Though it looks like a snake, it is not a snake. It actually is some form of lesser dragon.
Now,
With that description, can I try to use Dragon Lore to figure out if that matches the description of anything I know about?
now, Doran, I know what you're thinking, mate. You want to go look at that dragon, and I understand. But it's got big, chompy jaws.
Most
I'm
dragons
a very
do.
little bird. I don't want to go say hi to it.
Well, let me think a minute.
What's your dragon lore?
My Dragon Lore is +12.
With a +12. With the description, the strange horned ridge and the tiny little wings halfway down its snake body that almost certainly couldn't carry it through conventional means, it sounds to you much like a beta. And betas are actually full dragons. They are not like the four-legged there's a word for
True
the things
dragon?
like true dragons. That's like, what's the title? They're not a true dragon, but they are more of a dragon even than a drake is. And Beta, though they look almost ridiculous, and as he's curled up there like a snake, similar to the small little wings, they actually do have tiny little legs too. They're almost a weird evolutionary midpoint. They're growing out along, but the way that they operate and the way that they move is as much magic as it is normal physicality, and while the thing is wholly capable of moving quite fast, it can also fly perfectly well too, kind of just snaking its way through the sky as it does. But it is intelligent, as intelligent as a true dragon. And it could be here for any reason. Typically,
Are they typically malevolent?
I mean, always a crapshoot with dragons, right? And true dragons
Well,
do
it's
at least
not
have a
actually.
general indicator based on scales.
Yeah.
But those are the very alignment heavy ones. A beta, typically, yes, but not out of anything other than a massive sense of ego. As their thing, they are the classic, this tiny village is my tiny village now, and they will pay me tribute.
Or I will eat them.
So it's kind of weird for one to just be sitting in the middle of a jungle. That's not normally how beta operate.
So Dalrin, in a very dry tone, just kind of relates all of this to you as he starts thinking about it. This is probably how it is. Definitely, it's intelligent. They frequently cause trouble, but don't seem to necessarily have an overly sadistic streak. However, there's no telling.
If that is his temple, maybe we should not impinge on his territory.
But if it is intelligent, it might know where the totem that we're looking for is.
I think we're going to find that regardless of what we do, even if we stumble into it like the idiots that we usually are.
Well, the other concern is it may be wise to find out if this beta is working with the Cinder Claws, because if
It's just napping. Look, it's so peaceful.
it's watching us and it knows us, don't write it off as some kind of animal. This thing is intelligent. This thing is draconic in nature, and believe you me, it has a very powerful ego. We should respect it.
I do respect it. That's why I want to leave it alone.
Well, if this thing is in league with the Cinder Claws, I don't think we want to engage a totem and have this thing attack us from behind.
That's a good point.
I think I'd like to figure out what its intentions are, and if we can at least come to a respectful understanding.
Maybe we can give it some kind of offering. I've heard stories about this. You give
It's
some
going to
kind
light
of
us on
like.
fire.
Well, I mean, most
Well,
dragons
we should
do that,
spread
but
out then, so it only lights one of us on fire at a time.
One
It's
of
going to
us
light
will-
me on fire.
Okay, do we have any good like flash-looking offerings?
I mean, unfortunately, Mwangi's rather cash poor, so...
Well, it doesn't have to be gold because that's gold small. Like, who wants small
We've
gifts?
got Rur. He's about dragon bite-sized.
Well, I don't know if he'd like Rur. Rur's kind of hairy. We could do
Little hairball.
present it with some like
I mean...
cool sword or something. I don't know. That
we
sounds
have
pretty
some
cool.
cool swords, but perhaps we should just see what it wants first.
Okay.
Perhaps we might be able to avoid
Just
there any
want
kind of
something
like?
unnecessary.
I
I know.
Take
Okay,
a
so there's
nap.
like the like greeting thing in I think. Is there any kind of greeting for dragons? Like some kind of like bowing or?
Well, generally when a dragon enters another dragon's territory, it is to pillage or raid or just directly challenge the dragon.
We
So,
need to, like, not
really.
give that impression. We don't want to
Um,
give that impression at all.
Yes, approaching this from a draconic standpoint might not be wise, but but Beta should be relatively intelligent. They should be able to understand.
It should be wholly
speech.
intelligent. It's you would know that it is. It would be mind blowing if this beta was not above all of you in intellect. Like he is.
Well, that ain't hard to do with some of us. But
Well,
It
let's
is-
just see if we
it
can.
has the sentience and knowledge of a true dragon.
Speaking to it as draconic entity, I think could actually be counterproductive. I think what we should do is address it as elf and humankind and halfling kind to and try to treat with it that way, and perhaps learn its intentions.
Sure.
okay, sound like a plan. Introductions.
I think our resident diplomat, perhaps.
She looks at you.
Emissary resume.
She'll straighten out. Shh, leave me be for a minute.
So, As a
She'll
group of
straighten
you-
out her clothes.
Ready yourself a bit. As a group, you finally ready and move up to the steps of this temple itself.
So one more thing. I did bring a couple of nice bottles of wine and some nice things of food. If we're coming to
You want
this
a drink?
thing,
Like,
we're gonna leave it an offering of food, because that it understands.
I mean, it understands everything.
But what I'm saying is it might like food. Maybe it won't want us for food if it has better food.
I'm pretty juicy.
Oh
Been
god.
fermenting for weeks.
Oh god, why?
You pop like a pepper.
All right. So yeah,
so
basket.
Like a juicy
you
pepper.
ready a little basket of gifts for this beta as the group of you move forward up to this temple itself. As you get closer to this structure, the beta does not really attempt to hide once you approach. In fact, much the opposite. Even as you come to the steps, you see its enormous head, easily as large as this entire room, 10, 12 feet across, around in every direction, rise up as large parts of its body uncoil and rise up around the tower itself.
I'm second guessing here.
This creature is an enormous.
One of its tiny hands gripping onto the door.
One little clawed hand grabs onto the edge of the tower to haul up the coil of its body.
Don't laugh at it. Don't
And
laugh at it.
it's
Don't
tough
laugh
because
at it.
honestly, as imposing as it is, it does look a little ridiculous with the tiny legs and the little tiny wings. And it's one set of wings, like regular Drake wings, like halfway down its 150-foot long body. One little set of wings, just
It's all right.
funny as it comes out.
I've been trained not to giggle.
And as it unwinds here, almost displaying a huge amount of its glory before you.
It's T-posing.
It's T-posing. Snake posing. Its head hanging up 30 feet above the ground. Most of its body still coiled within the tower. The stone around this turret itself, as he just moves across it, more bricks and whatnot getting knocked loose. This central one is a bit lower than the rest, only about 3-4 feet high. Probably because he's been slithering over it as you watch him break more, kind of making his way out. But as he rises up to meet you, Resme there, holding this nice basket of wine. Buford, shield up, wide-eyed, super suspicious. Let's take a break.
Oh, it does have little wings. Look at those little
He's
wings.
got little
I
nugget
hate
wings.
you guys so much for making me do this.
Emissary resume.
Emissary
Never-
resume. That's it right there.
Let's take our
I'm
midstream
fully
break.
capable of fulfilling the role of diplomat.
Go away.
We're gonna refill our drinks and get some snacks. Use the bathroom. Don't go far. When we come back in
We're
a
just
couple
gonna
of
get
minutes,
stuck in its
chat.
teeth.
I'm
Well-
a spicy meal.
We're gonna see if we can't make friends with the dragon snake and not laugh at his dumb little wings. BRB. Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to a beta. Welcome back to a beta.
Be a beating I'm about to take.
Uncurling in all of its glory before the group of you here. In this strange ruin in the middle of this swamp in the eastern section of the Leopard Clan's expanse. As it uncurls, it looks down across the group of you, Resme approaching with his basket in hand, and a deep, rattling, almost growl emanates forth from the thing. It points its nose down from 30 feet up to Resme.
My lord?
What? You do not run.
We,
What language is this in?
This would be in common, actually.
Oh, okay.
We would see a human and a halfling and some elves.
we wish to pay our respects to you, Lord, as this is your rightful land, and we did not feel it was appropriate to pass through without paying you your due.
As is wise. You clearly have traveled far to arrive here. What brings you to this ancient, forsaken temple?
We were passing through looking for an object of some kind that has a magical signature that we believe might have created this area.
As he rises up a bit more, leaning almost over towards the group of you, there's almost a glow emanating up from his coils. Red light that reflects off of his scales and across the bottom of his head, giving him almost a sinister, underlit appearance here. I smell the echo joy upon you.
We passed through their lands, yes.
Then, perhaps, your arrival is no mere chance. You know what I am.
Yes, Lord, we know precisely what you are. Although we could never comprehend your true greatness, we have some idea.
And I, in my might and decades, centuries here, have not once failed to reward those who appeased me properly.
She'll bow her head even lower.
You, for here, will be my arm and my fang.
We would be honored.
Take your blades. Take them back far west to where those Ekajai hide in their trees. Bring me their end, and you will know wealth beyond counting.
This request you make is reasonable. However, we are bound by another oath, the first oath that brought us here. We would seek your leave to complete that, as we would not wish to dishonor the masters who sent us here.
And what, pray tell, could have a higher calling than a task delivered unto you by Madrad, the dragon of the Temple of the Hawk?
You make a good point.
Plan B? Plan B?
Plan B, yeah.
Plan B.
I'm gonna start casting a spell.
Searching for various weapons and readying magic and everything.
I hate all of you so much!
Plan B. God, yep, glad we put in a plan B. It's important.
We tried, and that's what matters.
Well, yeah, we gave it a good effort, right? We tried to be diplomatic. There was an attempt.
I mean, he'd be going to Plan B right now when we said, "Yeah, we're hunting Cinder Claws."
Yeah, collecting trophies, just dump the bag
Just
out.
dump the whole bag out. Look how many we've killed. Isn't it great? We want to kill some more. Where's their sacred totem?
That's why I didn't mention it.
And a group of you.
I like how Valia is allegedly with us.
Yeah.
You go ahead, I'll make camp.
We're going to find yourselves approximately here. Resme
Yeah, I've been
be
scouting the whole time, watching for the
forward
totem.
with Dalren. Rur and Buddy, I imagine, somewhat far back here.
Oh my god, you got an actual beta.
How's it spelled?
The idea.
That's what I thought.
As easy as it sounds. And this massive beta uncoiling from the ruins. And as you all ready yourselves to battle here, as you're drawing your weapons and as everything is quite clearly falling away from diplomacy, he rises out and a blast ensues from the totem he's coiled around. Resme is going to be in the front here. And this totem is going to blast at you for a 27.
That will normal hit me.
I need to make me, I believe it's a fortitude save, probably? Reflex save.
Reflex?
We dodged this one.
That is going to be a 25.
Yeah, 25 will just succeed. As though we perhaps we're not really expecting a
Your
totem
organs don't all
right there.
rupture immediately.
We don't know how to react to the laser sound at this point. A red blast sears forth from this totem, and you are going to take 11 fire damage. That's
Pretty
you
straightforward.
dodge the worst of it.
Her brother's spirit will emerge from her and take all but the littlest scratch on her face.
All right, Dalren.
I have a 20 with scout.
Rear?
32.
That's more
I was ready.
You did good.
Yeah, that's it.
Buddy
23.
and Resume.
27.
Okay, I gotta put back and forth between a couple pages here. I know what I should put a tab on now that I have tabs. I should put a tab on the page that has all the totems on it. That would be a nice page to have tabbed. Good news.
I'm kind of surprised the totems don't have identical stats and just like a different spell.
I mean, they mostly do, but it's still, I'm stupid. I'll put this tab on there later. I'm too stupid to figure out this tab. The totem.
Tabs are hard.
Tabs are super hard. Totem gets a 35. The totem's going to be, I'll put the totem gets the crown.
Totem is the boss.
Don't know how
This
this
thing's
goes
just a
already.
giant dragon.
Yeah, I mean, at that point.
The beta is going to get a 26, which I believe is below her in resume.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as it uncoils around this totem here, and you can see that there is, it's literally just completely surrounded by this thing's massive coils. It is going to fire out again the second blast as you ready yourselves. 28, so I need a reflex save again.
That is gonna be a 30.
30 will succeed. We'll just roll 1 then. You take, again, 11 fire damage.
Okay.
Then it will be Rur.
All right, so we get to play with a new spell today.
Okay.
This is Fireball, but not.
Okay.
I'm going to blast out and morph the area around the totem and the beta with good divine energy in the same radius as a fireball.
Okay.
And I need a fortitude save from whoever applicable, obviously just the beta in this situation.
Possibly the totem.
Possibly, I don't know.
Actually, yeah, the totem like has an amount of health. You can't just break it regular style. It's always possible. So the beta is going to get a feeling. I don't know what this is. 23.
This is divine wrath, and that fails.
Okay.
And what about
And
the totem?
There's totem saves. Where are your saves? I know you have saves. There it is. So I'm just going to get a 32.
That does not critically succeed. So the totem will take 13. The beta takes 26 and a sickened, and that is Divine Wrath.
Okay. Second one.
1.
Okay. Oh, cool. That's already the card I was using to mark the beat page, so that's perfect.
Hey,
He takes how much?
26.
Four. Okie doke.
10, a 9, a 4, and a 3.
I wonder if like one of the little tiny wings, little tiny arms, is little tiny cinder.
And so
claw
is
back.
this kind of
And then I will
ripples out across him.
move over here into cover.
I just back behind this little
Yeah.
tower a bit.
I guess recall knowledge. Do I know anything in particular about a beta?
What is your Arcana?
11.
You would know that they are, being black dragons, they are very resistant to acid and poison, and that they are fairly resilient to magic as well. Beta specifically being masters of illusions, almost impossible to fool with anything of the illusion school.
I'll just quickly relay. It can't be tricked, and we don't really poison it, but they're resistant to that.
Resume. We don't poison it. Let's keep not poisoning it.
Yeah. Just keep doing what you do.
Resme will turn her focus to the totem and start casting out a dispel. And her magic will congeal and focus in on the runes and the magic will attempt to get in there and disrupt the magical energy.
Okay.
And I'm casting that as a level 4.
Okay.
In my head, I just imagine the magic like physically manifesting and starting to like bubble away like acid at the runes.
Nah, it's just flicking them really hard.
Just
Like the
die.
Three Stooges.
Oh, I have a totem for you too. That'd be kind of on top.
Oh,
of
yeah,
Because I
yeah.
have the Age of Ashes pawn set now, so I have all the actual stuff. Just put it on his
That-
base. He's got a huge
Yeah.
base.
16, that's going to be a 31.
So, as your magic manifests, you've been through a bunch of these, and you're honestly quite familiar with how this magic works. With a 4th level dispel magic and a 31, you at this point can fairly easily actually remove the magic out from this totem, as its eyes
Hey.
just fade dark as quickly as they ignite. And with that, the red glow of the Beta fades out.
And then she's going to dive behind that pillar behind her. It's dragon
Meow.
bad.
Fuck this.
Just into the corner as tight as you can get.
The Beta,
Do you want the totem back?
seemingly, it's still there.
Yeah.
Seemingly unbothered by the fact that the totem has been shut off, slithers entirely up out of this tower down in front of the group of you. And as he does, he reaches out, not with his maw, not with his teeth, but just with a massive one of his coils, right? Like just writhing out around him. It's not even the tail, it's just a part of his enormous body winding towards Dalren for a 29.
29 will normal hit.
And with that, you are going to take 17 bludgeoning damage as this winds around you and you are grabbed as well.
Okay.
Pulled up into these. It's just Dalren gets grabbed there. Pulled up into these coils. I know I have. The problem was I made quick reference decks for some of these cards for the common conditions, but I have like 6 quick reference decks now, so
You
I
need
don't know
a
which
quick
one
reference
grab
deck
is
for your
in.
quick reference.
I do.
Yeah.
And then this thing being so long, again like 100, 150 feet, it must be in total length, head to tail. It just kind of continues coming out, these coils surging around towards Buford with a mathematics number that is 25.
And that exactly just manages to wrangle around him. Although does the magic? No, it's not a magic. Never mind.
Magic
Joking.
tail.
He's just
Yeah.
just tailing you. You are going to take 17 bludgeoning damage, and you are going to be grabbed as well.
I think that's your 4th 17 for damage you've rolled.
It's very consistent. It's been different die rolls too.
Yeah.
They're just very consistently the same number. As he constricts and pulls in Dalren and Buford. wrapped up in the massive lengths that is his body. And
Right where you want to be.
Yeah, it's okay.
Hey, free movement.
he rumbles out, "You are fools to deny me, buddy."
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and
And
grab
I'm
card
going
two.
to just smack him.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 30.
A 30 will hit him.
Okay, and
You
then
see, if your plan was to pull us into hitting range, but this is where we want to be.
that's 18 damage.
Okay.
And that's bludgeoning Warhammer. And then I'm going to try and wriggle my way out and push off these coils here.
-5.
Yeah, that was also not very good. So, I may do a session reroll here, guys.
So proud.
I know.
Using the free resources she gets every
Ooh, to
single day.
natural one. This is punished. Immediately punished.
So you are
for
very
losing.
stuck.
Yeah. And then I will just try and wedge my shield under and shield up.
Okay. And as we continue on here, before we go much further, Ghost of Azan with a hero point resume for the tactful diplomacy you tried.
You did try.
best.
Thank
It was
you.
a
You
good
did your
trial.
best.
You were laying it
Yeah.
on thick.
The party
I
may
liked
have,
it.
changed their mind very quickly.
Who was that one more, who was that one more time?
That was some Ghost of Azan, Dalren.
Well, you know, little things happen, and well, diplomacy breaks down, and well, only one thing left then. And he's actually not even too terribly concerned about being grabbed in this. He's just gonna just stab this ski storm down and just almost start sawing it back and forth as he tries to drive this thing down into the body, channeling lightning in as he does so. For a 35.
35 will hit.
Normal hit, huh?
Normal hit on 35.
Okay. So that's 28 lightning damage.
Alrighty.
Normal hit for 28.
Just barbarian.
Because
Just
barbarians.
barbarian.
And let's do that again.
Ooh,
To a
that
natural
was a
one.
natural one there.
And I've got one action left.
Unless you can rage as a free action, I don't think you do.
You are quite correct.
Rare. I'm learning now.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Rage is an action.
You see, that worked really well the first time that I did it, so I'm just going to go on ahead and do that again. Are either of you not good?
Are you asking that
yeah,
before
yeah,
you hit me
yeah.
with
No,
it?
the spell's going off.
Yeah.
If you're good, it makes a difference.
Dalren is not good.
Okay, and what are you?
Good.
He's the
Okay, so-
champion.
Yeah.
After you take the spell,
Buford's been lying
This-
the whole time.
this does literally nothing to you.
You'd see Buford just like totally like dying over there. You'd be like,
Okay,
What kind of
so-
save was it again?
Fortitude. I need one from you as well.
Okay.
So we get 31.
That is a 22. May I have some halfling luck, please?
Yes.
Since you're hitting me with it.
Again, this is your fault. I'd like your reroll.
25.
Fantastic. You critically succeed.
Because of Juggernaut.
No.
Because he
The
gets
spell.
Yeah, if you're neutral, you do one category better.
Oh, okay. Then I doubly critical.
Yeah, you doubly critical, and that is a succeed.
31's regular to see, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah. So 21 half is 10,
Okay.
and I will.
I'm feeling very judged right now.
Saren Ray's like, I don't know
it's also
about
You
you.
good.
passed!
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It didn't do anything to
Yeah,
you, but you
nobody can
definitely
tell.
felt Saren Ray looking at you.
I felt the big frowny face over my head.
I would be able to tell.
And
anything.
I'll take cover.
Okay. Let me just do the resume. Hey, man.
Be mad.
She'll poke out just a little bit and go, Temporis! And she'll just try to really quick get it off before she ducks back down.
He rolls no roll.
That's right. Give me that save.
That's going to be G. Alden Ezekiel villain point. I'll take that one. To a natural 20.
Oh, okay. Well, that will
well,
critically
you know,
succeed.
yeah.
Villain point has paid. So as you cast out this spell, just if it's maybe his sheer size, maybe the literal dragonness of him, your spell appears to have no effect whatsoever.
I am going to stay in cover and shield.
So as you are in cover there with your shield up, a further length of his body, smaller near the tail, lashes out against the tower you are hiding behind here. Resume.
You mean around the whole tower?
And
Because he's massive.
Possibly through it. I don't know.
probably.
Through it. Not with that roll.
That's not the good for you. That's the bad.
Oh,
that's the
okay.
natural 20 again. So
You can't roll 2 20s in a row. That's
Yeah,
not fair.
it's
that's
a
an
39 on a nat 20.
Oh God.
that will critically succeed.
He will actually feel he's ruining his castle here, and he's
Wrecking
questioning
to Hawk's
it.
Temple.
I'm
You
like
know,
5, 10, 15. Okay.
Her magic doesn't appear to be doing anything. So as this tail lashes out, it kind of curves and smashes up against the stone above you, but leaves you entirely untouched. Before the rest of his coils just start to constrict around the pair of you that he has grabbed. Give me a fortitude save.
Nice. Oh, nice.
Hey, nice.
Both 18s.
Yeah.
Okay.
33.
Succeeds.
Fortitude.
Critically
15,
succeeds.
30,
You'll take nothing.
What
You are
is
a
that,
strong
38?
barbarian, man.
38?
38 will also critically succeed. So as he tries to compress a literal can and a barbarian, nothing really happens. So he kind of redoubles his efforts, almost bewildered,
It's like
crushing
what?
again. Give me another fortitude save.
Yes, another one.
35.
30. Math.
Same thing as
It's the
before. He
same.
critically
Thank you.
succeeds.
Buddy, you will take 5 bludgeoning damage from the crushing, but nothing further. And it is your turn.
Okay.
Return the
okay.
favor.
We got him right where we want him.
Crush him.
Okay, so I'm going to bring down my hammer and try and just slowly whack this thing. I don't know. Okay, so that's 31.
31 hit.
Oh, with min damage there. Oh, that's horrible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage.
Woo!
Whew, baby.
Love to see it.
Yeah. And then I'm going to try and get out again, which doesn't seem to work very well, but it's the thought that counts.
You do keep doing it at a -5, which certainly doesn't help.
But I like hitting first.
I want to hit him. If I get out, that's great.
If I get out, like, I'm still a high fortitude guy, so that is a 31, 26.
26 is not going to be enough to.
Okay, and then
start
I'm
away from
gonna
this
try and
massive
wedge
beast
my shield.
All right, Doran.
Okay, so I think I've dug this in about as good as I can go. He's gonna flip the grip, change it, and try to actually rip the hook of the geese arm out, trying to get some damage in as a
Just
slashing tear. Man, I'm on fire. Nice. It's another
Lightning.
34.
34?
Yes,
Hits.
34.
Definitely hits.
There we go. So 13 and 14 is 27 lightning.
All right, and with that, you are starting to carve away fairly well at the bits of the tail that are wound around you here. Obviously drawing some massive gashes through this beta. It's just so large that you wonder how much this is really doing to killing the beast.
Well, eventually we'll just saw right through it, right?
Just
Then
gonna
there'll be
cut it in
two
half,
beta.
and then a second head goes.
Oh no. Having drawn some blood there and just kind of seeing just how big this thing is, we'll see. Well, you look pretty long there. Let's see if how far this lightning can go. And he's just going to reach down and charge up a blast of lightning and just rip it right up the body of the beta with his Dragon Rage lightning breath. It has a reflex save.
It has a reflex save. It will get a 34.
34?
34.
Okay, that's a critical success.
So it's this lightning. You've already cut through this thing well enough that the lightning it just seems to almost kind of shear around its scales harmlessly. Rare.
All right, we're moving down the list. So
Next spell.
next spell. This thing has set us up in a fantastic situation. I'm going to call out to it. Your faith in Dahak has abandoned you if you're left here with us, and cast Crisis of Faith on it.
That's a will save, right?
That is will, yes.
I was going to 23.
That fails. Is he a divine caster?
He is not a caster at all.
Okay.
He's a big snake.
Thanks.
Yeah, with wings.
We're dumb. I'm
We're
sorry.
dumb.
He takes 18.
There's no excuse.
All right, let's do one action left.
I'm gonna hunker down. In case he decides to breathe fire.
Resume.
Pop out spell cover.
Resume is kind of tired of being here and being vulnerable. So with a pop of magic, Resume turns into a giant bat and takes off up into the air.
Ooh,
Okay.
Do you have a bat token?
Sure don't. So
And
I was not given any warning if you turn into a bat.
I can turn into many things. And then we'll come down and go in for a first strike. I'm not sure if
do have a bat.
But she's actually still medium-sized.
I'm actually
hey,
still
do you have,
medium-sized.
you do have a bat. Look
from
at you.
Altarian.
I remember that guy.
Bat.
and we'll go in and take a fang strike at him.
Okay.
So that's going to be a 23.
Okay, 23 is just going to hit Dragon's skull, not strong enough to pierce through.
Okay. In which case, she'll duck back out and start circling around.
Around him?
No, just like back.
little tower?
Yeah, like there you go.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And
Actually, I don't know if...
this beta, as you guys are stuck on the coils here and it's squeezing and seeing near nothing happens, with almost a furious roar, it opens his mouth and just bites down on Dalren, who is very electric and does not feel good. And he would like you to please stop.
Please bite himself.
It's just high rollers to fight.
You can't roll that die. That's the new killer.
That's the one they gave me.
That's 3 20s
They
in a
gave
row.
me this. It's rolled 320s. That
That's
is
3.
Ow.
so a natural 20 as he bites down on you.
Roll it 2 more times.
And I'm going to
I'm somehow right next to you.
somehow the shield, I'm going to try and bring up the shield and just wedge it into his mouth, although the momentum might still crush Dalren a bit.
Yeah, I mean, his mouth is so large it absolutely will dwarf your shield arm here, but it will keep a lot of his fangs away from Dalren. So are you taking this? I don't remember how this works.
I can't.
Oh,
The
right,
shield
not
takes
yet.
him,
It just
yeah.
you just block, but it's
Yeah.
still Dalren.
Unfortunately, this is a magic shield.
Oh,
so
jeez, it's
we're
about
in-
to be-
We're in bad times.
About to get some holes put through it.
You're gonna get hit for 42.
Okey-dokey.
Okie so what's
That's
the shield
minus
hardness?
6.
Okay, that helps.
36, and the shield takes 36 damage.
And it's
It just
totally
gets
broken.
smashed.
just
right
gets
now.
obliterated.
Thanks, Ronaldo.
Yep.
You the man.
As the beta draws back, this shield utterly rent in its fangs. It is then going to as well just turn over and bite down on Buford as well. Mad. Or not a natural 20. We got there. A 27.
And without my shield, it hits.
It's unfortunate he did just eat the shield. And you are going to take 14 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then as he bites down on each of you and pulls his head back, confused, die! And just squeezes again. Why won't you die?
We get that a lot.
Woo, nat 20.
Everyone's with an 18 plus. Like every
Too
D20 roll.
angry to die.
I may use a hero point. I'm breaking fungus.
No way.
Breaking the fungus
No.
coin.
I know.
Universe.
I know.
There's a
Which is
4.
considerably better. Go. Okay, so that is that's a 25.
25, because he is sickened, is going to succeed.
Uh-huh.
He can't squeeze quite as hard because his tummy doesn't feel good. You're gonna take 6 bludgeoning damage from the constriction.
Second value.
Yeah, the vomit comet is real.
I'm afraid if he decides to vomit, it's gonna cover like this entire area.
Okay, I am going to try and wrestle myself out of here. First time, first. Okay, so that's not great. That is a 27.
27 is not going to get you away from the beta. He is very, very large.
Can I wrangle my second shield off of my back?
You can. You just need to make a flat check because you're grappled, trying to retrieve an item's manipulate action.
Okay, flat check. I'm gonna use this blue dice.
Hey.
Okay, 15.
So yeah, you can match pull your shield out.
And then, I guess, do I have to do I just pull it out?
I think a shield you just pull out. I don't think you have to equip or
attach it to
armor.
my arm.
Armor you have to suit into.
Okay.
Shield I'm pretty sure you can just do.
It's a center grip. You're fine.
Yeah.
Raise my shield.
Just got the little strap and the post just hang on to. That's pretty much it. They're all bucklers, really. We only use bucklers here.
Yeah.
All right, new shield, Dalren.
All right. That didn't work. This one. So as this thing just locks around him, and is just trying to crush him, and it's just not working. So
Dalren literally too angry to die.
it's just Dalren just kind of they'll just literally laugh in his face. Is this all the strength you've saved after centuries of guarding this ruin? And slash him again. 33.
33 will hit, and as you stab at him, we'll call out, "You are a fool to taunt Madrad!"
24 lightning damage.
He's actually dead and doesn't say anything. What happens?
You are a fool to taunt me.
How dare you defy the master of animals?
You are a fool to taunt! He gets electrified. And just kind of twitching and surging, spasming a bit as he gets shocked. The coils just slump off of the two of you, leaving this enormous corpse behind as the beta falls down onto the stone. Now just a giant kind of obstacle that's here.
The bat is going to do an awesome little bat victory dance and
Behind
then
the
turn
pillar.
back into Resme.
Well, that was
That was something that happened.
interesting series of events.
Well, it was a good try, Resume, but I guess diplomacy was doomed from the start. But we didn't know. We learned.
We did do a good effort there. I feel like we came up to it with the right idea, and sometimes these things just don't work out.
That is true. That is true.
All right. I get it. The joke's on me.
No. You did great.
You did really a good job.
It would have been
really
fine if that
impressed.
beta actually wasn't, a servant of the evil dragon god that we happen to have declared war on.
Yeah, but we went about it the right way. I'm really happy that we went about it, trying
Well
to talk
done
to
with the
him.
totem, by the way. That
And
was
that
very
too.
good. You definitely got the hang of that.
That
Yeah.
does also show us that not all of the followers here know our appearances.
Well, we haven't left any alive to report back.
Well, we've left a couple.
Some have gotten away.
Some run off.
That's true.
Give me a minute. I have to do something for Esvis or he's going to be really mad at me.
We definitely
Well,
need
not
some
just
fangs.
not just a trophy, but there's a great deal of dragon hide here.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to go carve it up for you. Just be patient.
And while you're
You could make like 30 black d'hide bodies out of this, I'm sure.
Yep. I'm going to go carve me up some dragon.
So this thing is enormous, and its hide is dragon scale. And while not quite as solid or as impregnable, clearly, as a true dragon's, carving it proves to be surprisingly difficult because it is certainly far too hard to get through with standard knives. While you could beat at it, and in your rage, you can get your sand blade through it swinging as hard as you can, basically. It seems beyond hopeless to try to.
If I were a master at crafting,
Kind of-
could I?
This would be you'd be like a master at survival,
So
okay.
really. To
I happen to have we actually have 2 +1 striking longswords in our possession, which might
if your
be big
goal
enough.
is to get like a chunk of dragon hide that you have that is neat, you could certainly do that. If your goal is to like skin it or carve it off
We
in
just need
any way
chunks.
appropriately,
Well, I think
Can I ask a
we want to be
question?
able to work it, I guess.
Give me a minute.
Yeah.
Now that it's dead, is it an object?
it is an object categorically. Yes.
Then why don't I just shrink it, wait until we're somewhere where somebody actually does know how to do it, and then we can blow it back up later?
Shrink item is the greatest spell in the world.
I'm aware of this.
Does it have a limit? I mean, this is
80
pretty
bulk.
weird. Oh, 80 bulk. Oh, yeah, that's true. Probably not 80 bulk. I mean,
I don't know. This might be pushing it. I don't know.
feel like the beta is probably
So
over
there's
the
a
80
volume.
bulk
There's a
area.
volume limitation of 20 by 20. By 20, it's a cube. 20-foot cube is the volume limitation.
And
But
it-
I don't know.
we could also cut it in
is-
half.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
could
can we
just
just
cut
cut it in
half of
half,
it
and
off.
then I'll shrink half of it down?
Can we shrink both
Beat up
halves?
butchering.
No, we can shrink both halves and keep the whole thing.
I have a piece of chalk. I'm gonna start putting dotted lines on the beta.
Well,
This
I
is
mean, I can't argue with that. If the beta is too large and you have 2+1
we
strength,
need to
you can just hack through the general middle of the beta.
beta and then shrink the bigger part of it. Yeah.
The upper
You could
half.
shrink both parts.
Yeah,
of it
that's what I'm gonna do.
if you have 2 of those.
I do. Because I'm a sorcerer.
Sorceress.
But do you have 3 of those?
Yeah.
Okay, well then we're fine.
Yeah,
3 exactly.
I would say you could definitely cut it in half and shrink down either end of it.
Cool.
Without any.
That's so we're
And
just
then I
gonna
gotta
keep
do
the
the
whole
totem.
thing in 2
Problems.
separate pieces. Probably fit in the palm of your hand.
Salt.
then
Pack it in salt.
It's just a piece
It's
of
also
beef
have a bunch
jerky.
of
It's
salt on
emergency
it.
rations too.
I wonder how the nutrients, like, would one bite of that have you set for like a week?
You would wind
It's
up
not
taking
Lembas dragon.
it would be fine until you pooed, and then it would grow back.
Oh God!
It would be the greatest poo the world has ever seen.
Oh, that's how you set record poop.
I think
That's actually what would happen. Shrink items is infinite, nothing has space to expand. So if you ate this little gummy worm that you just made, it's tiny. It's not. It doesn't. It becomes,
This is the future of
the
rations.
bulk, the bulk goes down, right? It's not like neutron star density. It's still like you
Yeah.
can,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's light bulk.
you can just eat it, and then you would literally crap out half of a mountain. Like,
We have found the future of trail rations. You just shrink down
why?
a whole wheel of cheese.
There's no benefit.
It's fun.
It's like
The
a fun.
only part that expands is the aftermath.
Exactly.
pooping. I've been pooping
A lot. Surprise your friends.
Exactly.
Have some jerky. Oh God, why?
This is so stupid.
I don't think
look,
that Paizo was ready
This is
for us.
definitely how it would function, though. Like, there's no part of the text to shrink item that implies it would work in any other way. So,
It has to have the room to
That's what's
expand.
happening.
Coming out of your butt gives it
because
the
it
room.
doesn't, if it's,
Wait, would it have to wait for the whole thing to come out?
I don't
So
know.
it's a normal poop, and then the whole thing's done, and it just
I can't believe it, your toilet just explodes.
Yes!
Well, no, because it needs room to expand, so it wouldn't destroy your toilet. It would just like
somewhere down
it
the
would
line.
be like the science fair volcano.
No, you flush it.
What are we doing?
You flush it, and when it goes out the sewage on the other side, it just explodes.
Chamber pot.
Oh
You
no!
leave it for the innkeeper.
Dumps it out.
Why? For what reason?
Because pranks
Unless
are
you
fun.
just hate the innkeeper. I mean,
Because he gave me apples.
we don't have
that
Yelp
were
and Galarian, so, you know, if you give me terrible service, I'm going to leave the shrink item beta in your chamber pot. And, like, you can deal with the consequences literally immediately after.
The shrink item beta.
There's the 4th of
In your
July
chamber
stream
pot.
theming right there.
Oh my god.
They have those. Those things where you burn them and they just
Yeah.
it's like the big. It would just do
Those
that,
are
but
snakes.
a million times worse. Like,
I can't breathe.
Oh my god. We have discovered.
We're adults.
We have discovered the untold legends of how to use this spell
The
properly.
undiscovered
Realize-
country.
Realize
That
the
is.
terrible potential of eating shrunk item giant meat.
No one can be trusted with this power.
Only you can know this. This is forbidden. knowledge.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay.
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 You save this beta until you finish with the Cinder Claws. Once you've slain their leader. Take a 5-minute break and then run out as fast as you can.
Yep.
You're not using this base anymore. It's filled with one beta's worth of.
You've heard of eat shoots and leaves? This is eat
Yeah.
leaves.
So
Yeah,
you can
that's-
shrink the two halves of the beta
Yes, and the totem.
and the totem.
Yes. And
And you can collect.
Don't eat the totem.
I'm not gonna eat the totem, but we have to rest here because
You may have to hack it into several pieces, but I mean, you would
Yeah.
be able to still get
Yeah.
like a shrink item. You'd be able to get a fairly
I want a
large
reasonable
piece that you can shrink
piece
down,
that
yeah.
we can use
Again,
to make
even
art.
in half, I'm not sure you can take the entire.
That's
thing with you,
fine.
but you can
Enough.
take a large,
80 bulk worth.
a
We're
large
gonna take
portion.
160.
Take 160
bulk worth.
bulk worth.
Yes.
Yeah, a large portion of the beta.
Of the beta.
shrunken down with.
As long as it
How
includes
much
the
is
head.
trail ration?
Kind of
Like weight wise, it's just light,
it's
right?
light, I'm pretty sure.
Stop going off the rails.
I'm not. I'm
No,
doing
you
it
are.
in my head.
No, you're
I'm
doing
taking
it.
this party and I'm putting it back on the track.
Okay.
So you end up with two massive lengths of a shrunken beta carcass. And as you go to the totem and start performing your magic there, the third 10-minute cast, I mean, you guys will have been here for literally a full half hour
I
while
would have
Resme
plenty
is
of time to
working on
heal
this.
us.
Thank you.
I also need the healing.
I can heal all of us.
Cool.
So
Yeah, during this time, you can do a pair of medicine checks here. And move this huge pile of boggart tokens away from the part of the GM screen. What are you just going for master natively now?
no,
Oh, you're going for expert? I don't know if you became a master in medicine or not.
I'm master. These are just expert because we're not like dying.
That's fair. No one's in the immediate danger
No.
of dying.
That succeeds, and that succeeds.
So 2d8 plus 10 health restored to, I imagine, everyone who's hurt.
48
two
plus
people
20.
at once.
No, because I'm master.
Oh,
now.
Oh, master means you can do everyone. You can actually treat all four people
Yeah.
simultaneously. Okay. For about 30 minutes, you're getting. I'm
45.
Oh, cool.
That's
Just enough.
Just
Yep,
enough.
everyone gets
just
45.
enough to
That's
get
almost
everyone
as
topped
much as
off
my
there.
entire health point.
That's pretty
Ah,
solid.
almost half of mine.
And along with that, Rur coming from Saiyan Fox 10 for the recent conversation. I'll encourage him. Take
They keep giving me points as if they want to see more of the things that I do.
take the 0 point.
And that was from who?
That was from
Saiyan
Saiyan Fox
Fox.
10. And as you move in, as you're being treated and look into this tower, it becomes evident that there is much more in this central turret than just a totem. Where the rest of the totems were set up on small stands that were implanted a little into the ground, but they're not really anchored or anything. They're largely just standing there. This one seems to be laying under a literal dragon's hoard of glimmering coins, silvers,
Don't touch 'em.
coppers, golds, as well as several other items that look to be of exceptional value scattered throughout this heap.
It's an actual dragon's hoard.
Before we touch anything,
That is a thing that they do, yes.
I'm gonna start inspecting anything that looks slightly golden.
Give me a craft check. I know you need to borrow his alchemical tools, or you need to do it because unless
Yeah,
you
I-
have your own.
No,
Okay.
I'll. Yeah.
You guys can both make me
Yeah,
craft
we
checks
can just-
to.
Independent
out.
verification.
28.
29.
Both of you would determine that these are minted gold coins. These are like actual money from the Inner Sea region, not just little pieces of gold, and they seem to be completely free of any of this taint. They seem to have come from elsewhere, gathered perhaps over centuries to this Beta's mounds. And in total, there's about 310 gold coins scattered through a nest of 2,400 silver pieces and 8,500 coppers. A literal mound of money
Okay.
heaped around the foot of this totem. 310, 2,400, 8,500.
Nice going. Like almost squaring?
There's actually a formula to convert
Yes.
coins into bulk, and
I believe
'Cause we have
1,000
a bag of
coins is
cool-
1 bulk.
Because we have a bag of holding.
yeah, we have a bag of holding. We
Yeah,
just dump
but
it
your
all
bag
in
of
that.
holding also does have a limit. And this is about 10 bulk of money.
How much bulk? So we have a month's worth of supplies, and how many potions did they give us? 12.
The potions are
15.
negligible.
Well, the potions are light, actually.
Are they? Oh, I
Yeah.
thought they were nothing.
Yeah, no,
Fair enough.
potions are light. 15.
I think some consumables are nothing.
15.
So your
7.
your bag has a capacity of 25 bulk. So
How much would a month of rations take?
a month of rations is
For 5 people.
5 people's rations, which are
Light.
light for a day, I believe.
Yes.
I think they're actually light for a week. I think
No, it's
No, I
Is it
think it's
light
light
for
for
a day.
light for a day.
Yeah.
So 5 of you times, let's just say 30 days, is 150. So it's 15 bulk. So your
Yeah.
coins, this hoard will fill the rest of your bag of holding.
I'm down.
It will be full of just money and food.
Honestly,
We'll put the food
that's
on
the way to
top.
live life.
I was just gonna say that.
And potions will have to find another home somewhere
We
else.
have pockets.
We have pockets.
Yeah,
We have pockets
because
and packs.
this is such a hoard, it will completely fill your bag of holding.
I'm actually
Honestly,
wondering
this
about
is
the
our
utility of
payment
the
for
copper,
doing
but
all
it's
of
85
these
gold for
shenanigans. So,
copper.
like, as far as
That's
we're
freaking
concerned,
worth
this
it.
is
But
awesome.
along with this, there are also some other artifacts of interest scattered
magic and
throughout the
read
pile
aura.
here. And yeah, between your detect magic and your read aura, you would be able to determine that all of them are magical. There is a black shield
Aha!
with
3 shields.
Considerably less broken than I'm guessing the one outside.
the beta did powder your shield,
But
unfortunately.
he just goes,
Actually.
That's part of his teeth now. A black iron shield that appears to have fairly long, almost like 6-inch spines that seem to nearly be growing out of the thing. A pair of gloves that are actually already emblazoned with iconography of Sarenrae upon the back of each leathered hand.
How convenient.
And a small oak wand that appears to almost be just untreated raw wood that is just capped on its base with a small onyx gemstone, and at the other end doesn't actually taper to a point like a wand normally does. In fact, it forks into 2.
Does it look like just a twig with an onyx cap on the bottom?
Kind of. But the magic would tell you that it has an evocation aura with your read aura.
Resme will get really, really excited, like a 19-year-old would at Christmas. And she will kind of like look like almost a little twitchy as she's sort of looking at all of like the magic items and stuff. And I'll try to identify.
Meanwhile,
With quick
Buddy's
identify.
scooping coins with his shield. Darn's holding the bag. Poor.
So I'll give you the gloves will be easy enough because you've already identified these before, and in fact you already have a pair. This is another pair of healer's gloves.
But these are special. They have Sarenrae on them,
Yeah?
so they're special.
Oh,
So
okay.
special.
I mean, they have Serenite iconography on them, but the magic is very similar to what you have.
That sounds like
I'm
cash.
I'm going to put those on and sell the old ones.
Because, yeah.
Sarenrae has intervened here.
Yes.
The shield, as you look it over, these 5 spines growing out of it don't even appear to be smooth. They're almost jagged and barbed in a way. And what are you identifying this with?
Whatever you tell me, but Arcana.
I mean,
if
it's whatever.
possible.
Identifying magic's whatever your
13.
highest spellcasting thing is. With a 13, you would be able to identify that the magic in his shield's a little bit interesting. So, downside, it's a steel shield. So, downside is the similar to the spell blocking shield one.
Gets
That
eaten in one go.
not
with this
really
level.
for blocking.
Yeah.
Especially not blocking humongous betas.
Yeah.
Especially not blocking humongous beta critical hits. But the upside is that each of these individual spines, all 5 projecting out of the shield, are powerfully warded to functionally be +1 striking shield spikes that you can swing with. But they protect the somewhat flimsy shield itself. As they are extending out from the shield, when the shield is struck, the +1 striking shield spikes will take damage before the actual shield does, and have to be broken and destroyed independently before the actual shield starts taking damage. They almost kind of intelligently intervene, moving the shield itself to bring them to bear as effectively as possible. Every time that the shield is hit hard enough, it is going to break spines off, but they literally all have to be snapped off of the shield before the shield itself can take any damage.
So it's like it has
Additionally,
a bunch of temporary health pools.
there is a strange aspect of regeneration to this shield, and overnight, all of the spines will regrow. Additionally, you can activate the shield with your other hand, or the hand that's holding it, with an interact action, to shoot one of the spines off of the shield.
Just aim it.
And this same magic that guides them to protect the shield itself makes them near unerringly accurate up to over 100 feet.
Wow.
It's my sniper shield.
Okay, well, this is... Okay, not what I was
they on the front
thinking
or
about
on the
today, but...
ridges?
They are just sporting out what looks almost randomly from the face of the shield itself.
This little shield of mine.
When I was
gonna
first thinking
kill
about
you
it in my
with
head, I
its
was thinking that they were like
spines.
along the edges for some reason, so that you could like hit people with it rather than
Okay, and, okay, so I guess I'll just talk to you later about, like...
everything.
So it has the
does.
same amount of damage reduction.
Well,
as the
that's
steel
what you
shield.
know about it. Because
okay,
without
I
a
don't
critical
know.
success, that's what you know.
Okay.
You know that it's defensively no stronger than a steel shield, other than that it has these spikes in there. And for convenience of use, the spikes are +1 striking shield spikes. They can do anything a +1 striking
okay,
shield
okay,
spike can
okay,
do.
okay,
And if you shoot them, they're still +1 striking shield spikes. They're just ranged now. The specifics of how they break and how the shield takes damage, you don't actually know.
Okay, I just didn't know if the shield spikes were 1d6 or not. But if they're just regular shield spikes, then yeah.
They are +1 striking shield spikes
Okay,
as the weapon
just,
shield spikes.
that's just what I was
Yeah, I'll give you that much just in people words again, so you understand
Yeah,
what to
yeah.
roll and how to use them.
Okay.
The last thing, the strange little wand,
I wondered.
you would also be able to identify this is a metamagic wand.
Ooh.
And metamagic wands in second edition are kind of neat. It's not a metamagic rod like what 1E had, where you could hold and it would you could apply its metamagic to your own spells. It is a metamagic wand. This one, a wand of lightning bolt. So while this one, it is a wand that can cast lightning bolt once per day, like a wand is wont to do. But it is a modification of the widening metamagic. Normally, if you used widened metamagic on a lightning bolt, it would go further. But this one with the two-pronged actually expands the width of the beam. If you your once per day lightning bolt out of this wand will not be a line, it will be a 15-foot line. Going down a line and the two adjacent lines next to that.
Wow.
In
It's
a
a little
blast.
more than just expanding.
It's like
It's
a
a-
sheet of lightning
Yeah.
crackling out.
This is a hyper beam that comes out of it, but it is a wand, so you can only shoot it once per day.
So it's a wand of widened lightning.
A wand of literally widened lightning bolt, yes.
15-foot wide light.
15-foot sheet of electricity.
It is a mega cannon.
Yeah.
Just crackling down.
I can't tell Darn about this. I have to show him.
This is
Right after I
every-
use my dragon breath, so I
Yes.
feel particularly
Oh,
inadequate.
one of those.
So I'm just like,
That was
So
cute.
it is the downside of being a wand is that it will always just be lightning bolt, a 3rd level spell, because unlike a staff, it's not your magic. It's the
Yeah,
wand's
no,
magic,
it's the
so
wand's
it's never
magic.
gonna like
Yeah,
scale up.
it's 3rd level.
But still, it is a 3rd level giant giga cannon.
We now have
Shoot.
another AoE for dealing with the mine shaft.
oh
but-
geez, yeah, we kill like freaking 25 boggarts at once.
Gone.
Just that, 15 fireballs, more divine wraths.
If that doesn't break their morale, I don't know what else will.
Clearly, the Cinder Claws have won.
We
So-
we poop their dragon on them.
Along with that, the
Fill the
totem
mine shaft.
that the beta was protecting seems itself to be constructed slightly differently. This totem looks almost rougher. Not that it was made with less effort, with less skill, but almost like it was just older. It was made before
first,
the system
before
had
they
really
were
been
good at it.
perfected. And along with that, it does not have sockets in the eyes where this smoke and fire and these beams emanated from. It actually has 2 gemstones set where the eyes should be to channel the magic.
Well, sounds like let's knock those out of there real quick.
2 black fire opals of astounding quality here
Can I have earrings?
that
Pretty please.
are probably worth 200 gold each.
Okay, I can't have earrings. I like the money. but
Big ol' eggs.
But one day.
This Beta's hoard was exceptional value.
I don't mean to be mercenary or anything, but that was really nice.
That was
Rewarded for effort.
that was quite a stash this beta had. I wonder how it came by all of it.
Would you like me to tell you?
Stole it. 8 people. I'm sure the followers of Dahak gave it some of this.
Yeah, probably.
Hi. Hello, village.
And then his little hands go and pick up.
Go and pick up all the little
Go
coins.
through
That's,
pockets.
that's why he has the
The
dumb little
little stuff.
salamander hands. It's not the walk with it.
No,
it's
it's
to
to
count
get
all of
it's
his
the
money.
money. It's pretty much how it
This
happened.
is the money snake.
Excellent.
Resme puts on a puppet show showing you exactly how it happened. Because she's feeling particularly whimsical.
So, after what would probably be the better part of an hour in the early afternoon, healing up, identifying these things, and attempting to just collect the incredible amount of wealth that the money snake has left behind.
What's...
All of the money snakes! Stop!
No, it's a new holiday.
You're making
Today's
it really
date.
hard for me to do anything today.
I'm sorry. We need our straight-faced anchorman.
Yeah.
That's what happens. This is how off the rails we go.
The big black money snake.
Oh my god.
You have another totem, a red one now, having been dismantled, dispelled, and shrunken down now. It's the only one you still have on you. But that's one more piece of the Cinderclaw's defenses removed.
Now that I have it shrunk down, I'm going to use Produce Flame, and I'm going to light it up, because there's no point in keeping them anymore. I just needed it to be small enough so that I could actually set it on fire.
And this one almost catches easier than the
Yeah.
previous ones, as it seems to just be more raw wood. And a few minutes of burning and crackling. Somewhat ironically, the fire pillar would burn away. Left to just charred bits of wood and ash. Yeah, that I'm sure you can break up further to make sure it does no other bad things to you.
Does the pile of ash rapidly grow?
Don't say things like that. Why are
No,
you giving
because
them
the
ideas?
spell duration isn't over yet.
Good point.
Ah,
Got it, but it does actually have only like 10. Is an hour? Or? I don't know. Point is, whatever, it's gone.
Do you guys want to stay here, or do you want to continue on?
the sites of the totem seem to be the last time we stayed or returned to a site of a totem. We ran into a cinder patrol, probably looking to see what had gone wrong with it. So staying here is probably not a good idea.
I mean, if we had Espus or something, we could just, like, try and hide real good because he's really good at that. But,
Well, we could use the opportunity to explore this temple. If this is a temple of Dahak, there might be clues
It's
here.
not much larger than what you saw during the battle. The stone platform is about square off to what would have been the little past the corner of what you could see. It was once much like what you'd found with Stoutmore, but even smaller than that. And this was an open-air temple with no walls or anything, just these three pillars. As you look around, though, you can make more sense now of the lower areas of these towers as you can go and inspect the carvings. And it looks to be the coiling, not so much a snake, but almost the tail of a serpentine dragon that had been winding up into something once upon a time. But that's long been lost now. And the floors itself don't really hold any kind of secrets.
Okay, fair enough then.
Does the environment change at all now that the totem is gone, or
Not
does
a-
this seem to be natural?
Not immediately. No, the swamp does not like fade away over the course of hours or anything, so it's impossible to tell
Okay.
if this had warped it.
Well, let's see. I suppose we could
Try to get out of here?
try to, somewhere. Do we want to start heading back over to the mine to try to rendezvous with Esvis?
Yeah.
we may be able to lose our trail a bit in the river, too. That little
You
river.
would be crossing the larger
We could
tributary heading over there.
walk along the tributary a little bit and try and lose lose tracks.
I like that, and it might actually be worth it to cut south for a bit just to see what else is there first. That we do have a missing area we haven't been to yet, and we don't know what the other side of the Cinderclaw Fortress looks like, although that's quite a bit of ways away.
Okay. Just keep in mind I'm pretty spent for today, so let's try to take it easy.
Right, of course. No, we should just withdraw to a safe distance and try to make camp.
Okay.
We're pulling your way back out into the swamp, some distance away to the best little bastion of dry land you can find, without having to travel much more than a couple of miles.
It did seem rather odd that the marsh swamp totem was a fire. I don't know why this marsh was here. It seems really odd.
I think it might be natural.
Oh.
It is a very strange connection, and definitely in no way related to the fact that the GM mixed up the red and the orange totems. It definitely wasn't supposed to be the acid totem, if that's what you're implying.
Okay,
We
never
would
mind
never
then.
imply that the
Nah,
GM
I
was
would never
anything
say that.
Definitely,
perfectly.
there's
I
no
just-
way that I
No,
read
it's 'cause
any
they
part
made
of
it
this wrong.
poorly.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
Okay.
just it's a weird fact
Weird.
indeed, a mystery that'll be left to all time perhaps.
We can never guess Cinderclaw's
I mean,
motivations here.
I would just think that, because the beta is here with such a master of illusion magic, that this is just going to ripple and turn into whatever it was supposed to be originally.
Yeah, that makes way
Right.
more sense
A
than the GM
glorious
mixed up
wheat
to the
field.
totems.
Or this
Yep.
could all just be a swampy fever dream.
No, because then that means we don't have our money.
No, I meant the fact that was the wrong totem.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah.
It does make sense that be a fire totem this far out here now.
That would be the first one that they started with. That would really
Yeah.
make sense.
So, as you find a good place to rest, I assume Resume is going to set up some camp again. Give me that survival check. I'm just holding this D20 for no particular reason,
It's just going to be a 7.
You can re-roll it if you want.
I will.
You positive use your luck for
Didn't-
hitting
yeah,
him with
he
a
did,
save.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, you get that first one.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah, because
definitely
you
use
shot
it.
me with your own spells.
Yeah.
You can have a daily resource,
It's
and then
it's gonna be it's still gonna be a 20.
normally.
You do normally.